Brendan, it's me, Pop.
What are you doing here?
Tommy's back.
Did he say if he wants to see me?
Look, Brendan, the bank has got to go by the new appraisal figures. You're upside down on your mortgage.
How much do you need?
I didn't come in for a loan, Frank. I was hoping that you would train me.
Teacher, you got no business in the ring with those animals.
Actually, I used to be one of those animals.
There's this big tournament. Top 16 middleweights in the world. And when it takes all, I'm gonna need a trainer of that much you were good at.
I got a family to protect.
Mom needed you. I needed you. You're my big brother. You bailed on me.
I was a 16-year-old kid. What the hell did I know?
Okay, you had a choice. You can do this. Whatever you say it, I can do this.
Well, hello. Does anybody else's nipples get hard with that intro? I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Music. Chill.
It's the you give White Bear a soundboard, all hell breaks loose. This is what we have now. Oh my god. Well, hello everyone. Welcome everybody. We have a great show for you tonight. We're here, episode 86 of MMM. We are back. We have a great panel. Talk about a great movie, a very underrated movie, and that movie would be Warrior, starring Tom Hardy. Very under the radar film about the early days of UFC. It's a great drama. And we're going to get into it. We're going to break it down, talk about why this movie is so uplifting and depressing, but so well done. It's well written, well acted. It's phenomenal. But we have a great panel. And speaking of beautiful people and great things, we have Gooch on our show again.
I thought you were going.
Well, I mean, me and Josh shared a moment in Vegas, so we have our own special memory.
True.
And I have my own special feelings for Josh, but there's only one Gooch. How you exactly. How you doing tonight, Gooch?
I will hunt you down, Whitey. Yeah, I'm good. I'm nice and clean, freshly shaven, Manscaped. It's in the name. Yeah, I'm doing. I love this movie. I saw this in the theater. It was funny because there was a bunch of guys that I knew that in the fight scene that were at the theater, so it was kind of like, oh yeah, we all thought the same thing, got together and went to see the movie. Yeah, it's really, really well done. Nick Nolte is a masterclass. It's just doesn't get much better than that. And Tom Hardy, I think this is one of his best films, one of them. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Josh, my beautiful, sexy Vegas partner, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm with Gooch. I love this film. I think it's underrated. I remember there was some award buzz, and then even that didn't really kind of, I guess, pan out like they had hoped. But I saw this in the theater at ArcLight, and yeah, I'll second Nick Nolte. I'll second Tom Hardy, and look, even Joel Edgerton. If there were ever an every man type of person that's just good enough, but still just boring enough to be so believable, it's him.
Yeah, so. That's a good point. Good point. White Bear, my favorite hillbilly in the world.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Well, we thought it was this is your birthday pick, so the confusion was everybody thought it was your birthday, even though we already thanked you.
No, I know it was so bad. I was like,
"We're so stupid,
guys. You guys are so great."
This is a White
But-
Bear pick, by the way, which I'm very thankful he chose this movie because I love it.
Wait, is it his birthday or no?
No.
It's not my birthday.
He picked this
It's not my
movie
birthday.
on his birthday because I give
But
everybody
scheduling and shit.
the scheduling stuff. So we picked it for September because I'm retarded. I thought it was his birthday. I was like, wait a minute.
I think I actually talked them secretly. I talked them into doing 2 movies for my birthday. One was First Blood, and
Grillo.
then the other one, and
the
the other
host
one was
doesn't
this
get 2
one.
picks, but this guy does.
Well,
I love you, that buddy. Well, thank you for picking this movie. We love you for it.
I'm glad, I'm glad.
King of the Wumbo Juice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lord King.
M is setting it to many.
Ooh, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this movie, which I think properly demonstrates that with a good diet of Wumbo juice, you can go from this to this.
Oh,
Wumbo.
Yeah,
baby.
200% organic in stores now. But yeah, in all seriousness, yeah, I think this is a really awesome movie. I didn't see it too long after it came out. I think I saw it that same year, but I was genuinely blown away with how well the family drama is executed. It's remarkably well acted. It's got a really strong script. You know, there's some implausibility, I guess, to the, the backdrop of it with the MMA tournament and one of the fighters' hilarious costumes. But it is a really, really good movie. And, unfortunately, it did bomb at the box office. But I'd be curious to see if it made money after the fact, because most people I know have seen it by now and genuinely love it like we do, as they should.
They should, because it's fantastic. Vex. I hate that pic. I hate that avatar. I fucking
You're
love
welcome.
God damn it. I hate it. Vex is coming hot off of a video, Speak No Evil. Fantastic video, of course, yesterday.
Thanks, guys.
How are you doing?
I'm really fucking tired, but I got my first job as an editor done and completed.
Very nice.
So
very nice.
We'll see what happens. I'm tired, man, but this was a first time watch for me as well. I had trouble getting into it because it was too masculine for me. So I was talking about skincare instead with the ladies.
Nice.
But then I was just like, okay, I might as well just do my cardio and watch this. And sucked me in hard, man. Real hard.
Suck it hard.
Yeah, no, there's a couple movies like this, like Moneyball, for example. Like Moneyball is not typically a movie that I would enjoy, but it's because it doesn't, the baseball is not the front runner for it. It's just something used to kind of usher in what like the movie's actually trying to tell you. So it feels like I don't know anything about MMA, but the MMA is just more like something visual that an audience can hold on to kind of usher in these two tales of two men that are really struggling to I guess in some ways get redemption, right? Maybe some red, maybe some dead redemption. Who knows? That's for the algorithm.
Yeah. That's it. We're changing the title after the show.
It's like Velocipaster. What you're seeing is not necessarily all of the point. That's just the surface level.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
I'm excited to break this down. I know we have some lovely people in the chat. I see Nadia in there, Bloss, Nosferatu, Words of Paradise, Leon, some other gay people. Oh, Sassy, speaking of lovely gay people. Melvin, Axima Gaming. I know we got this thing
You
going
can just
on.
call him Akuma. I think that's what he intends for it to sound like.
I know. I figured so. We got this thing going on that Nas is spotting up for AJ to go ahead and meet his favorite dog idol. It's Caesar Milan, right?
Yep, Caesar Milan.
Caesar Milan. So I guess we're coming down to it, right? We're at the end of the voting process. So
I think he's currently in first too. So
yes,
shut that up, everybody.
Yeah, so go vote for AJ, please.
Quick, is Nadia still doing hers as well?
Yeah, she is, but I think they just started a new round.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So yeah, everybody, please go vote and get AJ to meet his dog god. It's a dream for him. He's got a passion for it, and he deserves it. So
I think everybody should vote for when Nadia's is coming towards the end. We should all vote at 2 a.m.
Help It's okay to help black people once in a while. It's okay.
He's already got my reparation money. That's all he's getting.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. Okay, so as we're going through here, what's up, Jacob Ironside? I see you popping in there. Pretty much, I love the setting of the movie, the grittiness and the realism that you get.
Very
right
rocky.
away.
Very rocky.
Very rocky.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's definitely inspiration there, and just the whole Pittsburgh vibe, very blue collar city, and then you got Nick Nolte coming out of church, and he's listening to like these fables. This is not Rocky,
I think he's
Nadia.
listening to Moby Dick, isn't he?
Moby Dick. That's it.
Yeah.
Moby Dick. So okay, whoever wants to spout it out, how do we like the opening of the movie? Because I think it's fantastic. And talk about character building and setting up the story in the first few minutes. To me, is the most important thing about a movie.
Well, it invites you in, and you want to know more right off the hop, because you see an old man who's, he's like sober. He says for like 1,000 days.
Yeah.
And the son is like, you could tell there's they're dissociated, like they're not on the same page, and there's been a long time between the two, and there's a history right off the hop just by the
100%.
mannerisms and everything that they're showing, and it's like, okay, I want to know more right off the get-go. So
yeah.
And the fact that he's alone, he doesn't have a woman with him, so it's like, okay, he's divorced, or his wife's dead, or in this case, both. So yeah, there's a lot of, it's really good visual storytelling and character building.
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. They don't go into this trope that so many writers do with scripts these days, where they're telling you what's going on. Like, let me give you so much exposition. They let like 80% of this happen with body language and acting, like how they say these lines, how they pause. It was great stuff.
Yeah, and you get the sense, like, you don't know what's going on, but you could tell. But he's so surprised to see him that there's a history. Something happened, and then and then the dialogue is fantastic in this. By the way, the scriptwriter did a great job.
Well, even that line there, Paddy Conlon, like like he's like shutting out the name, so you're right off the hop. Like there's a history, and you're just like, okay. It's not "Hey Dad" or "Hey Pops," anything like that. It's just like Paddy Conlon. Like,
calls him by his first name.
Yeah, and you find out why later on. But
yeah, it's fantastic, and he's happy to see him. The dad's like happy because as it goes on here, you find out why he.
Right, his life is in a different place, and he's got dick in his ear.
Yeah, he's a different person, and yeah, Nick Nolte, God, the whole movie, he is just fucking so good. There we go. Hey, title. Then Tom Hardy, like you were saying behind in the backstage, he doesn't have to say much. It's all visual with him, his eyes, his facial expressions, right? Not many actors can pull that off. He does do a great job, especially in this movie. He's very just angry and bitter, and you could see it on his face throughout the whole movie, except for a couple of scenes where he lets his guard down. But this was heartbreaking. He's just he's hesitant to go in the house because of the past that he had with the father. And then you find out
the pictures too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because he's looking at the family together, him and his brother, the mom, and you find out that here basically that the father was abusive. He was an alcoholic and beat the shit out of the wife, and very impactful. And like he even says it here, I haven't seen you guys in 14 years. And he wants to have a drink with him. He's like, hey, he's like, has this flask out. And he's like, coffee? Why are you giving me coffee? He's like, it's been 1,000 days. I'm or whatever. And he's just like, really? Oh, now, like, and it's this whole theme is like, now you're a nice guy after all the shit you put us through.
Yeah. That stings. The one thing I want to say is like, they do take, not for like, Brian Stan was a U.S. Marine that fought in the MMA world. He wasn't like Tom Hardy. He's actually a really nice guy. But he was a U.S. Marine, and he came in and fought. So like they're using that storyline of Brian Stan for Tom Hardy, and just fluffing it up a little bit to make it a little more for the story here. And then when we get to the other brother, I'll tell you who the other fighter is. But
yeah, and then look at his facial expression. Even in the still, you could see that this guy's been through some shit. He's I don't know how, did they ever say his age in this movie? I don't think he's not that old though, right?
I would say probably in his like early 30s.
Early 30s.
Like,
Oh, I said, yeah. Then you got this, and dude, he's like, oh, you found God, huh? He's like, he's so sarcastic with his tone. He's like, oh, that's awesome.
Every single point Tom Hardy's character is hitting at this, since you've met him, you're like, God, I hate this dude. You don't know why he is the way he is yet, but shit, you like throw the coffee at him,
I mean, you get enough context with the dad saying, I've been, sober 1,000 days, and it becomes very clear that okay, our childhood was not, or his childhood
not good.
Was
yeah,
not
that's
great.
true.
And look, just if you've ever been in a family situation with an extreme alcoholic or a relationship with an alcoholic, like it's like a knife right into you, because it's like you never escape that mentally. So
especially they were gone for so long, like it's 14 years, and it's funny too because he even has a line like the dad's. He says, he's like, I'm not with anybody, like he's not married anymore or whatever. And he goes, yeah, and you can't find too many women that could take a punch these days. I'm like, oh my god,
rough line there.
Yeah. But and it's like, does he really? This is what's great about this, though. You still feel empathy and sympathy for Nolte's character because his acting is so good, and just that, like, if that was your father, would you forgive him? I don't. It's hard, right? But
and I think that's one of the themes of this film. So I don't want to touch on it too much because you got that moment towards like 3/4 the way through the film.
Yeah.
Part of what's so excellent about this movie is the way it handles the complexity of a situation like this. It's like, okay, if we're hearing about an abusive parent, on the outside, we're like, okay, that person's a piece of garbage. But if you were to get the full context of the story and you find out, okay, this person hasn't done anything of that sort for, 10 years or 20 years or however long, and they're genuinely remorseful. And then you see the kids and you're like, okay, they have every right to be angry. But then you see actually the bitterness played out and you're like, it's like, that's just as ugly. It feels like, so it's like, even though it's like, you feel like there's justification for it, at the same time, you're like, it's a lot better if
it's harsh.
If you can forgive this person. It would be a lot better for it. It's
agreed.
Well, desire for that catharsis rather than just the ugliness.
Yeah. This scene where he's talking about how he hired a man when he's sober, and then he knows where they are, and yet he did nothing to help them out, and he just like talks about how he had to like support his mother and like even like bathe her and do all this stuff because the cancer was so awful and they had no benefit.
They didn't have a place to live either. Like
it's like, and like there's so much anger.
You can't blame him. I mean, you get, and then even here, because he's like, she was waiting for your pal Jesus. It's like, oh my god, because that's the way it always works, right? It's always the innocent people and the people who reform, who cause the problems. Like they want forgiveness and absolution, but the people who they hurt, it's hard to forgive. Like that's it, especially growing up.
He hasn't seen any bit of his improvement. He's just here. He sees him. That's it. And he's unpacking on him. And script wise, I think it's just good that they go ahead and knock this shit right out.
And no flashbacks.
We don't need 5 hours of drawn out. Like, oh, remember that one? Remember?
We don't need the 5. We don't need the 5 hours and then the melodramatic. That 8 minutes easily.
I love the line of the 12 steps. I'm surprised they didn't make you do 24.
You get 2. Yeah, he's like, you get an extra 12.
Yeah.
They're basically letting you meet these characters where they're at, and they're not. It's like these feels like real conversations these people would have with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The dialogue.
Like you're getting to meet them where they are.
It's the dialogue seems very.
The forgotten character of the movie is that Jeep right there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you're right. And then 10 minutes in, you're not even at the 10-minute mark, and you already build all the characterization you need for the movie. No flashbacks. You don't have to do any of this stupid shit. It's all explained. And it makes sense.
You're seeing a father and son like unpacking this trauma, and then you're jumping into this serene, perfect family setting,
suburbs,
birthday party. It's like you're really like going back and forth to these great storytelling, and you're like, oh, God.
And it looks good, right? This all looks good.
Oh my god!
And then this looks good, and then slowly you start to realize with this family, it's not all perfect. There's a lot of trauma here too, and like he even says it. Well, we'll get to that part later in the movies. Like, you think you're the only one who suffered, Tommy? We've all, suffered and all this shit. It's really fantastic.
And also, okay, if you remember, okay, so this came out in 2011, so it was probably written in, probably was getting written and made around 2009, 2010. So this is right after, like the housing crisis and stuff like that. The fact that this movie is basically alluding to that kind of thing without outright saying it or trying to make some kind of political statement it was refreshing to go back to something like that, because there's that part of my brain that's like, okay, I realize why what's happening around the country that probably led to this scenario, but they don't have to highlight it for you to know.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they're just coming off like 2008, 2000 to 2010, that recession, like the collapse.
That's what he was saying.
So
Obama.
Yeah.
What he whispers in his ear at the end. I love you. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
And then again,
Jennifer Morrison. Oh my god.
Yeah, like right away you find out like she's got to work extra jobs. He's got to work extra, and of course she's walking out in like this little skirt, and she's like, you better, whatever. It's like they have to keep, and you're like, why are they working so, like, you don't know immediately until it gets to the scene where he's at the bank.
Can I just say, like, that's his name, Joel Edgerton. Like, he looks like he's gonna cry every time you see him. Like, he's on the verge of crying. Like,
he has that look.
He has like kind of that sad dog face.
He's got a face like a fist. Okay.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So this is where Tommy goes to the gym, and this is okay. So all right, Gooch, I don't know anything about MMA. Is anything like this actually ever happened, or is this realistic at all? Is this just movie bullshit where they have like this?
Well, okay, there's a lot of old school here, because like. Right. The Shamrock family were known for the Lion's Den, where they would just throw people on land and see where you're at, and test through in deep waters and see if you can swim. So this is 2011. Like, going into a gym, like a professional gym, and this is kind of like a mid-level gym,
right?
So going in and because especially for training, especially for a pro like him, you wouldn't have an unknown fight your star. You wouldn't, because you're afraid of cuts, you're afraid of injuries. You have no history in the guy that you're sparring with. You don't know what his temper's like all that plays in. So there would be more of a, hey, let's see what you can do before we throw you in there. So that right off the hop is kind of like, that wouldn't really happen. But that being said, it happens in some gyms, but not with like a superstar.
Okay,
yeah,
I gotcha.
Yes, Ken Shamrock and his brother. Yeah,
his face here. He's like, it's $35. I don't get no fucking $35. But yeah, he. Oh God, Sax, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, it is too toxic. Very masculine.
Oh,
masculine. Yeah, toxic masculinity.
How can somebody with Zax's shoulders not have seen
right?
This?
You haven't seen this, Zax? I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Shoulders.
Right up your alley.
You gay?
Yeah.
So Joel Edgerton, his character is based off like Rich Franklin. Like Rich Franklin was a MMA fighter. He was actually a champion, middleweight champion, and he was a math and science teacher, a high school teacher that turned pro. So this is kind of, they're taking
loosely
that
based off him.
Okay. Yeah, loosely based on that, and Brian Stan loosely based on his real life.
Look at that face right there.
I like this stuff.
Well, that's reacting to the motion he was making in the previous.
Yeah. He's like, this is what you do when you want.
This is what you do. And he's like, come on, son.
This is what Fap November you could do when watching a high tea movie like this. And the guy's like, oh my God.
You know what I like, though? I like the dialogue with the kids in the high school, because they act like normal teenage idiots. You know what I mean? It's not the dialogue rings more true, and the way they film it, too. And they
respect kids who have a good teacher, because
they respect them.
When you actually have a good teacher who's involved, that tends to get the class a little bit more involved.
You see those clips going around on Twitter and such. People are like, look, a teacher or professor, actually teaching a really learnable lesson. Mm-hmm. People are amazed by it, so it's good.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you get the dichotomy between their lives, like where they're at, and this guy. Okay, is this guy a real fighter? The
which one?
The one that gets his ass kicked.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog Grimes.
No,
whatever.
I don't recognize him. I don't like. He could be,
Okay.
but I don't
I was
recognize
curious.
him at all. If he is, he'd be like a low.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why they didn't pick an MMA fighter to lose one of the key bouts in the actual tournament, and they instead pick a wrestler who knows how to take a falls, because probably a real MMA fighter wouldn't appreciate even looking bad.
Right.
Like a movie like
Well,
this.
there is a lot of MMA fighters in this movie.
There are. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as like big high achieving ones,
Yes,
maybe
there-
not.
Like the
There
focus of
is.
the story.
There is actually. So
There you go.
Hello, Mama Badger. Welcome.
Why?
Hi,
Mama.
Mama Badger.
Mama Badger. Mama Badger.
So it looks like he actually was a real fighter. His name's Eric Apple. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't
fought in King of
recognize him
Cage.
from anything. He could be
Yeah.
a Muay Thai fighter, so I don't.
Okay.
Like,
I was just curious because you could tell kind of who is and who isn't, but this is where Tom Hardy's character is like, I'll spar with your boy, and look at that face, dude. Like, I wouldn't get in the ring with this fucking dude.
Yeah, it's like he's got a look of almost like he's trying to give puppy dog eyes, but there's
Right.
something kind of dark behind it. Like, it's like, I don't know if you should.
Please
trust
let me kill you. Could I kill
And
you? I really
love-
want to kill you.
I like
Yeah.
when he's like, did he sign a waiver? He's like, it's not my responsibility if you get hurt. And he's just like, he puts his head down and shakes his head like, yeah, we'll fucking see. 'Cause it's not-
that does happen. That like it's
I'm sure.
not our yeah, like the gyms are very when it comes to legal stuff, because that's what they deal with a lot.
I gotta pay
So, like,
insurance too.
insurance
Yeah.
promotions, like they know
Yeah.
the
They
legalities.
have to. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that face,
Oh
man.
god. Tom Hardy's face in this movie, guys. Okay, like I understand some people might have got
He's
turned
great.
on by the Tom Hardy, but all I saw
I got
during this
Hardy
whole
for Tom.
movie is
Yeah.
is
I
this.
look, I never knew Mr. Burns was hot when he was younger, so there you go.
It would have been so good if he talked in his Bane voice for like,
We beat you
Right.
to smithereens.
I was born in the MMA ring.
Speaking of Bane, though, this is how Bane should have been in The Dark Knight Rises.
thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is kind of
I
a
agree.
training ground for becoming Bane. He was Bane a year later.
I hated Bane. I hated his. I love him.
I quite like Bane. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. I think he's.
Oh my god. Oh
I
my
have- I
god.
have- I was
highly unrepresented.
Lord.
The movie, it's like the overall movie is not very good, but I think Bane's awesome.
I don't mind that they changed his character from the comic. I'm not gonna be, but like they just his fucking voice.
I haven't read any Bane comics. I don't care. about
Well, if you ever read
Not even close
Oh, when
to
you
the
go to the
comic.
I don't care.
well, I know that. I mean, for crying out loud, he's like a freaking like luchador or something like that.
if you
He's-
read the
not a
Nightfall
luchador.
comic, the first Nightfall comic, you're gonna go,
Yeah.
why didn't they just do this? They should.
Yeah.
have just
You've
did
angered
this.
the nerds here, Gord. Now,
Oh,
Look at what you've
fucking
done.
Gord! God damn! I'm just kidding.
Right.
It's your- I'm kidding. Yeah, he knocks this guy out in like couple of punches. It's insane. I like when he goes up to this guy. He's like, "You owe me $200." I'm like, "Yeah, you can have it. Sure, here you go." Tom Hardy's just, oh man, he's not even that tall. He's only 5'9", but he's.
This
so
was
good.
actually the
Yeah,
first
Hardy-
movie I ever like saw him in. So,
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't
yeah, I mean,
Inception?
only movie that. No.
No,
Really?
yeah,
No.
I can understand.
well,
that,
this
yeah.
and Inception would have been the same year. I believe.
yeah, like
No.
yeah.
yeah,
right?
Well, no, Inception I think was the year before. I think actually.
So he made Inception, this, and The Dark Knight Rises back to back to back.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
wanna see-
Mad Max.
Vex is yeah, no,
Yeah.
right?
See, I remember
Wow,
him in
movie.
the Craze. That's I remember.
Yeah, early Hardy, as we like to say.
The first thing I saw him in was Bronson.
Oh,
That's
that
a- that's
performance.
another
Oh
one.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
Oh,
one.
so good.
crap, it's a
Yeah.
good performance.
So good.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a face for you. I'm a physics teacher, man.
What's up with all these Coomer faces? My
I
God.
don't know, but like freaking Conan O'Brien over here gooning.
Because I got high.
Almost hit my
Because I
drink
got
out.
high. Because I got high.
That's so funny. As I'm choking over here. Maybe you find out he's like upside down on his mortgage. Like something about the county assessed his home, and he's upside down anyway. And then this guy's kind of a dick. Like, I just tip. This is
He's been in a ton of shit.
Yeah, I
ton
thought
of
it was funny that he's only in this movie for this scene because I mean he's played some pretty big parts.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite. He's
Yeah.
in Miracle. He's in The Truman Show.
Oh
he's
yeah,
also-
the Truman Show. He was the buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
The Americans, if you on FX.
I've heard that's good.
He was,
Yeah,
I know he
I've
was
heard-
near
Oh,
the end of the
it's
first
so good.
Walking
I've
Dead.
heard it's
That
fantastic.
show was actually
Yeah.
half decent.
The miniseries Spy.
Yeah.
Also,
seen that
freaking
either.
oh, dude, both check them out.
Just wait till I see you in person, Zach. I'm gonna wear you like a fanny pack.
Don't make me play the clip again.
Whoa.
Oh, just wait. There's gonna be more than sharing hamburgers. I'll tell you that much.
Vegas is going to be a blast. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna wear Zach's like a fanny pack, can I be in Zach's fanny pack?
I knew that was coming. I was waiting.
Did you just imagine the Josh Gooch, Zach, and I are gonna do?
Yeah.
Poor bastard. This part was crazy though, because like the guy, he's like, I know there's probably not much the bank guy could do, but he's being, he's like, hey, you told us to refinance our houses. And what the part that was crazy is like, he's like, yeah, my daughter had a medical condition, and he just kept saying, he looks at him, he's like, oh, stories. It's all like I keep hearing story. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would he lie about that?
Well, yeah. So I mean, this goes back to kind of what Gord was talking about earlier, the timing of this, because part of what was going on with the housing bubble were banks employees were pretty much forced to do loans that they knew people weren't going to be able to pay, but their jobs were being threatened for it. It's like you do it or you don't have a job. So,
and I think the implication he makes when he says the whole, hearing stories, he's not trying to say he's lying. He's just saying he's getting them mixed up with each other because he's hearing this kind of stuff often
all
now.
the time.
From everyone.
So you're telling me a
That's a
story.
good
It's
point.
like, I know it sucks. I've been hearing these for a long time now. I don't really hold it against the banker. He's kind of just doing his job. It's just kind of showing you it's like, oh,
I'm forgetting about the time.
everybody's kind of screwed right now.
But you feel bad for the guy. Like he's like, what
a
else?
little bit after all that started is when they after they stopped giving the bad loans and all that, they got really, really tight. And suddenly, people who could go in there and just go to their local bank and be like, hey, I need, $4K to put down on a vehicle and all that. And, I've been with this bank for 20 years. And, like personally, it happened to me. Suddenly you have to have a co-signer for, something very, very small. And it was a very shitty time. And it was kind of a slap in the face. So, that's what that's all.
Yeah, no, I get it. So this is the dad watching Tommy as a wrestler. And it's funny, if you're listening to the dialogue, they're talking about like, oh, he was trained by Marines, whatever the fuck his dad's name. I forgot what his name is. And he's
Patty.
like, oh yeah, he's got Patty. He's like, he's got a reputation. And like so you're ready. They're ready. They don't have to like actually spell it out for you and show you flashbacks that he was a
Captain Irish over here.
Yeah. But they just
Condon.
What's up, Lance? I love this film. The thing that made it so original was the end. You're completely right. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
It's actually fantastic. The ending is the ending kills me. But yeah, the trainer who was training Mad Dog Grimes comes looking for him, and I like how Nick Nolte's like, and he gives him the mother's maiden name, not his actual last name, and he's like, okay. So there's all these things being thrown at Nick Nolte's character throughout the whole movie, and finally towards the end breaks and go, whatever, has a relapse. But again, he was a prick. But like, do you actually feel like? Does anybody on the path? Did you actually feel bad for this guy at this point? Like, God, he's trying, but
he's trying. Like, he's stuck in the past because he wants so hard to make up. He knows he made mistakes, and I think he knows he can't undo the past. But I think. He's especially with Tommy coming home, for him, it's almost like this is God giving me like my moment to try and make things right. And I think that's legitimately kind of what he feels. I feel bad for him.
Willing to take his verbal abuse basically because he's like, look, I've earned it, so I'll take it. But part of what I think the movie also does really well is there's that part of that human desire. It's like, even when okay, I deserve this, there's that desire to get it, like he so strongly wants to be reconnected to his boys, and he's helpless. He's helpless in it. It's just painful to watch.
Yeah,
if he can change, then anybody can change. We can all change, but
I can change.
But seriously, but
stupid.
I'm sorry, but he's if he has seen the light in some form or fashion, then he knows that it's possible, and he's just you get kind of giddy to share that good feeling of being clean and having the scales from your eyes once.
Yeah,
you want to reconnect. So I hate it.
I thought Christian Bale was fantastic in The Fighter. I did not love the movie though, even though it was a true story. I did not like.
Really?
I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought Christian Bale made the whole movie. He was so good.
Because they've been talking about doing the Gotti trilogy.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be
cool. Dude, I saw those live. And,
I can imagine, dude.
I was gonna say, I feel like The Fighter is the reason this movie didn't do well at the box office.
Were they out at the same time?
Yeah.
No, it came out like a year later, but they were both kind of like, going for that same audience. And I think when you have stuff kind of follow back to back like this, usually whatever comes second doesn't do well.
That's a good.
And I'm sorry, this is so much better than The Fighter.
Agreed.
Oh, it is
so much better than that movie.
The other thing about this is like MMA was still banned in a lot of states. I think it was still banned in New York at the time. 2011. Yeah, I think it was.
So yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
It's
so
wild
like
to think of that.
Yeah, it was banned in a lot of states at the time. Still, like it was still new and raw. Like even though it started in 90, was it 92 when it came? 93, 92. It was still considered like a gladiator sport where people are like, we don't want that shit on TV. We don't care for it. And they were still trying to figure out the rules for MMA. There's a lot of. There was like new ownerships over the UFC.
It took a while for Dana to.
So this whole thing here, he's got a base. So he tells his wife that he's a bouncer at like a strip club or something, right? But what he's really doing is having these parking lot fights. Are these I'm sure, do these happen, Gooch? Like, do they have these fights in these? Like,
these smokers? Yeah, these happen. These happen like I reffed an illegal smoker one night. They had I got flown out there and I got paid $2,500 at the table, and I got everything. So they do happen. Nowadays, no. I'm sure they're still kind of out there, but like they were happening a lot because again, a lot of these states and even up here in Canada, like, even in Canada, the province that MMA was banned. So, in Toronto, I think it wasn't even legal in Toronto at the time. So, yeah, it did happen a lot.
I think we've all got paid to give somebody a smoker before, but like, they call them smokers just because of what? Just because the whole room is filled full. Usually like
it's old school, like the boxing, like they're just the old school, like there are a lot of guys in the audience smoking, and it's just
it does crack me up that his wife and the school would be more upset at him being involved in one of those fights than being a bouncer at a strip club. Right. That's a little funny to me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like how he comes home. She's like, "Oh, was it a slow night?" And he's like, see my face, woman? There you go, Gooch.
One of the strippers got
those tits were flying like crazy, babe.
So wood.
Yeah, wood is right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And
she's upset with him. She gives him money though, and he's just, the whole thing is like, hey, they're gonna, what is it, 90 days? They're gonna take the house away. So
yeah,
they have to kind of. What else? I mean, I don't know what else you would really want him to do at this point. He needs the money.
Being pretty hard on him. She just took like a morning piss right beside him. It's great. It's like,
I do get the safety issue.
Here's the thing about fighters: like, it's a natural sport for you don't have to. You just go in with your fists, pretty much. Like, there's some odds things here, like can wraps and stuff like that, and you got to get a trainer. But it's one of those sports where like a lot of guys can do it. Especially from the street. If you're a street fighter, it's an easy transition. You look at Kimbo Slice, for example, who was like a bouncer who like did a lot of fighting, backyard fighting and stuff like that. You can make good money doing it. At that time for fighting, you were getting paid, like you were lucky to get $500. You were really lucky. Like guys would walk out of there like $50, $100,
Right.
So
crazy.
It's realistic that way, where guys would like, especially when MMA, because MMA really, really took off in 2006 with the Stephan Bonner and what's his name there? I have his books. I met him. But yeah, that big fight with the Dana White series, that's when UFC really took off. So it's again, it's only been 4 or 5 years with UFC really being in the limelight.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It wasn't even on my radar. Even back when this movie was made, like I said, I don't even remember seeing a trailer for. I don't know what the hell I was doing at that time, but I think I saw this like 3 years after it came out, or 4 years. I was like, how did I miss this? But yeah, this is where Tommy comes in and basically talks to Patty, his father. He's like, hey, listen, I need a trainer. You were good at, but I love how he's just like, don't misunderstand. This is not like a reunion of dad and son. You're just training me, and that's it. Like, I don't give a shit about reconnecting and all this. And fucking Nick Nolte's intimidating looking a little bit in some of these seats. You just get a sense of old school Irish Marine and like just tough guy.
Well, in this scene, he actually gets to push back a little bit. He's like,
a little bit.
Yes. He's like, okay, I understand that, but if we're gonna do this, you're gonna do it my way. And I'm like, okay, like he gets to stand up for himself a little bit.
Sound like a fucking maraca.
Yeah, so Tommy. So yeah, you see in the beginning of the movie, Tommy was taking some pills. They don't really tell you what they are. You're just kind of assuming that whatever he's taking is just to get by or whatever. But he's like, yeah, give me all of them. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, you're gonna wake up.
You could tell he's an addict. You could tell he's an addict, and you could tell he was in the Marines himself because he all the senses are on constant high alert, especially when he's sober, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't want to eat this food. This is for losers and old men. He's like, easy. Yeah. So he's just like, listen, we're gonna go through this whole thing, and that's it. And then the rumors. I like this part was funny though. Like this guy's cousin was at the strip club where the teacher was fighting and caught him. And like, so it starts. A rumor starts. But
my friend said he saw you stripping. What the heck?
What are you doing, sir? The teacher comes in with the black eye. They're like, "Oh shit, it must be true." And I like how they just ask him straight out, like, "Hey, is it true?" And then, of course, the principal.
Do you fight strippers?
Do you beat up? Did they knock you out with your titties? Yeah, this guy who plays this guy who plays the principal was in a lot of movies too. He's always a good character actor. Yeah,
I love his chin.
Yeah, his 3 chins.
Which one?
Yeah, it was looking right at me.
But he's basically telling him, like, listen, can't, like, the superintendent's on the way. The school district can't have this now that they found out. All because of one stupid cousin from some idiot. And,
well, it was illegal fighting.
It is, it was illegal. And he even says the line here is like, you're gonna get killed. You're just a teacher. Like, these guys are, you shouldn't be in the ring with those animals. And he's like, I was one of those animals. Like, oh,
yeah. It was a good moment in the moment, in the movie that made you kind of feel good. Like, it's like, were you good?
Yeah. He's like,
if it's illegal, then the people who own that club are really, really stupid to set that all up outdoors.
No, they pay off officers. Like, there's so much
I'm
shit.
Saying, you only need one that hadn't paid off to just drop it. It's like, well, wait a minute, what's going on?
No. It's like being a firefighter. They think in a group. So if one officer says
that's true, it is a union.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got stories.
Don't push back against Big Titty.
Hey, by the way, did you know that did you know the Shield was a great shoe?
Oh, it is a great shoe.
Oh, she corrected herself.
Got a really great shoe. Really great.
It had a great shoe.
Great shoe.
A great.
Be careful,
show,
can only
like
throw an omnibus at you.
Here's so the wife comes in basically, and she's like,
visit him in his Harry Potter room.
Yeah. She's like, you're basically suspended without pay, and like they talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, you'll be back next semester, but he's missing out on like what is a semester? 3 months, 4 months of no school. 3 months.
Why are you showing her legs?
I mean, they don't
them
give us
to actually take
of exactly where in the semester they are, but it's probably a pretty long period.
I have real quick. I have live footage of Gooch while this scene was coming on.
No, whoa,
yeah. This is in the moment.
Whoa!
That's what fish coming looks like.
Yeah, this is what This is what Gooch was doing. Yeah, and then he finished.
Multiple times.
I just want to know who the other fish is watching.
model.
Well, I mean, Gooch isn't wearing a hat tonight, so
no,
you know.
he's not. I don't see
I
both
did
of
it
his
because
hands
you're
either.
on tonight, Josh. I was like, I'm going to do my hair today. Because
he's on.
You notice his left hand's missing too. It's like down below. I don't know what's going on, Gooch. Listen.
Hey, that's my business. Hey, just carry on.
Don't
you hear some grunts. If you hear some grunts, just keep
You're
going.
faint knocking on wood at the. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he's like, I'll keep fighting. And, at this point, she's like, okay. Like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, to survive, you have to. She's not happy about it, but she's like, fuck it, we got to make money. And he basically tells like, I'll leave. Go ahead, sorry, buddy.
No, it's just I'll wait. Well, I'll wait till the other scene. I don't want to say anything now, so sorry. Carry on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Is this basically where he tells her, "Look, I'm doing this regardless, and it would just be nice to have you"? Is this that scene, or is it this before that? I couldn't remember.
Well, you kind of get it twice. Like,
you do get it twice.
Yeah.
And this is where
because I think this is I think the scene we just passed through was the one where he's telling her about
telling her what's going to happen.
Like that one, not the Sparta tournament. I think the Sparta tournament
money they can
tells her, "I'm going to do this, but I'd like you behind me." But he's basically like, "It does, I'm going to do it regardless of what you say." But that's the later one.
Yeah. So this is like the father again trying to reminisce, and he's like, and he's asking questions about him. Did you practice fighting when you and your mom? And Tommy's like, I told you, like. Just leave me the fuck alone. I can get my own coffee. You don't need to wake me up. It's just like, get the fuck away from me. You're here to train me, and that's it. But he keeps fishing. Nolte keeps fishing because he wants information. And then we're here in Phoenix. After Iraq. And then, so like, then you get the first time seeing this, I was like, what the hell are they doing here? Why are they showing this? And then obviously it comes full circle. But the YouTube video was circulating, and these people knew him in the Marines. He was in their unit. And he goes to find a video of Tom Hardy's character saving a bunch of Marines. See, they have the video that they took of the battle they were in. And you come to find out he saved a bunch of people.
In no way would he make that connection, just saying.
It's very Hollywood. That's like that's part. Some things about the movie are like, it's a little too convenient, but everything else is so good.
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say because like you get your life saved by someone, you pretty much remember that moment who saved you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's all that far fetched. I think when you get him, he had his life saved, and it was in the way they describe it. It's in a manner that's hard to forget. So when he sees the viral video and he's like, that looks like the person who saved me, he's probably had that guy's face like kind of etched in his head for a while, and it probably hasn't been that long either.
Right.
Yeah, but he also looks
Grillo.
completely different in that video. But
well, he looks different in the video, but he can see the video, but then also recall it back to his own memory.
Yes,
I mean, it was dark though. Like he's not gonna have. Anyway, very very minor nitpick.
Yeah. Frank Grillo, you know who Frank Grillo is, right?
Oh
yeah.
He did this in the Great same year, also a great movie.
Good actor.
Yeah, he was in Avenger. He was in Winter Soldier, I think it was, or Avengers. Which one?
Civil War. The best thing he ever did was the TV show The Gates for like CW. I mean, come on.
Yep.
I don't know. He's pretty excellent in The Gray.
I was joking.
I
haven't seen. Okay, well, I haven't seen the show. I didn't know what you were.
Fucking Josh.
I was gonna say he did a documentary about fighting, and like all over the world, he went around the world showing different styles of fighting, and he would learn from everybody. It's really well known documentary.
Yeah, Frank Grillo's he's a good dude. I've watched a lot of interviews with him. He's a very down to earth guy. Yeah, he's a good dude. I like this guy. But yeah, I like this. I like this scene here because you can tell they obviously have a history of a long-standing friendship, and he thinks he's asking him for money, and he's like, "All right, what do you need?" And he's like, "No, I need you to train me." And he plays him off like, "Why?"
Yeah,
he's like,
is the implication he was his trainer when he was a fighter?
but he didn't take him seriously. He didn't take it serious enough, so he's kind of.
Well, it's not that he didn't take it serious. It was more
injured.
like he got injuries, and he was a 500 fighter at best. Like he wasn't one of the elite. He didn't have that natural ability to
make some great.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
he kind of he looks like that P90X guy, that Tony Horton. There.
Yeah, he does.
That's so funny.
I felt at some point he was going to sell him some type of workout plan or something.
Right. Yeah, and he's like, because he has a guy he's training, a younger guy who's going to be in the Sparta thing, right? So he's like, you can come in, I'll see what I can do, but I can't promise anything. Like, whatever. He's like, all right, cool.
Well, he's really I think in this scene he's just coming in to train for those other fights. The other
fights.
Yeah.
Well,
he's training a serious fighter. For
serious guy. Yeah, that's what I meant. Grillo's he's training somebody else, and he's like, I'll do what I can. This part here of the movie is where, again, this scene to me is one of the most heartbreaking scenes, but to me, one of the best that pushes the story forward. The writing and the acting in this is phenomenal. When Nick Nolte goes to see him and his oldest son, and he's just like, hey, I want to see you. It's been so long. And hey, by the way, your brother's back. And I'm just
curious, like how much of it was actual script and how much was it just like them riffing and just like being in the moment and just, doing it like a natural back and forth with each other.
It's possible. Yeah.
Because it felt like it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gord.
I mean, I was just gonna say it's either great instinct by the actors or it's a very talented because I remember I was I'll liken this a little bit to the script that they had for Manchester by the Sea, which has a lot of mannerisms and oohs and ums added in, and you almost think this has to be improvised, but it turns out it's almost all written in. So that's a very gifted writer there, and I'm like, okay, is this a very gifted writer or is this just great instinct by these actors? So,
yeah, and look at his looks in this scene are so like. God, because he knows, again, like you said, he's trying to get back in these guys' lives. He's trying to get some redemption, and they're just like, no, like, fuck, you did too much damage. What I saw as a kid growing up, and his face here says it all. Like, he's like, oh, fuck, man. He's like, am I ever going to get back in their good graces?
Yeah, and I think he even has a line where he says, like, I have kids to protect or something. He says something along those lines, which tells you, like, he's not opposed to trying to have a relationship with his father.
Right.
But because he's got his kids there, that's now out of the question.
100%. Yeah,
he basically says, like, by phone or by mail. And I think, what hits me so hard when I see this scene is when you're introduced to the brothers, you've got Tom Hardy's very, kind of down on his luck, a bit of a junkie. So his anger, you kind of expect almost when you see him and you understand the dynamic of their relationship. When you get to the other brother who's more got his life together, you would almost expect him to be the more forgiving one. But you see, they have the same feelings about their father. They have the exact same attitude. It's really brutal to watch.
The part here that kills me is when he's reaching out to the grandkids and he's in tears. I'm like, holy shit!
His voice is breaking.
He starts to get heartbroken here a little bit because he's thinking, "Oh, Tommy's back. You accepted him, and like you got your because he was the favorite. It seemed Tommy was growing up, right? Because the dad trained Tommy, and so he's actually heartbroken here a little bit. He's like, "Oh, you got your favorite fucking son back. What do you need? Go live your happy family. You accepted him back, not knowing the circumstances."
I mean, you can see in the way they fight which one would have been more the prodigy, would have been character.
Yeah.
So it's like, the father favored him because he's clearly the one with the talent.
And then he even says it here, like, the part of the reason why I stayed around was to get you all to myself because you paid so much attention to Tommy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I was drunk back then. And it's like, oh, God. And this line here, great. I love this dialogue. He's just like, you were always for the front guy, never the underdog. You didn't give a shit about it. I was like, oh, my God, man. And look at the facial, like, it's just so good. This scene is just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, and then right here, he's crying and like he's like, find a little bit of space in your heart to forgive me, just even a little bit. And he tells him, I forgive you. I just don't trust you.
Yeah,
and
I can't.
you
watch
can
it.
understand that. I'm sorry,
That-
Gooch.
No, it kills me, man.
We'll get past it. We'll get
yeah.
past it. Yeah, and then
No,
like,
it's all good. It's just it's so well done.
But no, you're right.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
he does see the kids, he's calling out for that. It's like, oh my god, man. But again, it's like you do feel the sympathy and empathy for Nolte's character. But you're like, God, you really must have been a piece of shit to like let these. But again, you don't have to have it spelled out for you. It's all in the acting and the dialogue. It's fantastic. Yeah, and this is where we get a little hint of Koba. Koba, that's Gord's
You
favorite
suck.
character.
You suck.
You suck. Yeah. So he's
he's the second most popular Koba villain because the other one's from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep. And then you get this little
Koba cracks me up though because it's like this is 2010, 2011, and he's a USSR
flags.
commie. And I'm like, Soviet Union fell a long time ago, bro.
Well, Kurt Angle wanted to be an MMA fighter. Obviously, time he was too old for it, but he wishes that he could have done MMA back in the day because he was such an elite wrestler. And winning a gold medal with a broken neck. But
yeah, dude, he's so beat up now too, though. Like it's probably a good thing he didn't. Like the man can barely walk.
This is the scene where they switch to El Paso, where you find out a little bit about one of his war buddies. Right. This is one of the few times you see Tom Hardy actually like happy to talk to someone. He lets his guard down a little bit, like smiling.
Yeah.
Asking about the family, and the wife's
again. You learn of another loss for Tommy here. Like he lost a brother. Like he considered him a brother, and he lost him. And he's doing for him. It's like he's trying to have this family that he never had, and he's trying to support them the best way, the only way he knows. And it's like tearing him apart.
Yeah,
that he's not doing enough for them. Again, you said it. The writing for this is incredible. It's like it's good, so well done.
Because the understated thing, the understated performance of all, the three actors, I'll say, is all of them just don't want to get hurt again, and that's kind of how they're approaching it.
Yeah,
because with Tom Hardy here, like he's literally lost everyone. Like
and the contrast between the way he talks to this woman compared to how he's talked to everybody else up to this point is pretty drastic. Like you're seeing this whole different side to him when he gets on that phone. You're like, oh wow, this is very different.
Yeah. Oh,
even
John
in this,
Anik.
Yeah,
John Anik is a young pup.
yeah. Look at him. I know. God,
I was gonna say too. Even in the previous scene with Nolte, when he went to Joel Edgerton's house, he made the comment about Tom Hardy's character Tommy, like he's not the happy little kid that he used to be, and that single line was twofold. Like it was one to try to give you context of what we don't know about Tommy, but it was also there to kind of be like an attempt of motivation to pull Joel Edgerton in. Like, hey, like come help your brother.
Yeah.
By the way, come help me, but come help your brother, and it
be
backfired.
there for him. Yeah. And I like this montage. They always got to have these montages, like the most Rocky-ish montage you can get of them training. It fits. Like I like how they do like the boxes where they're showing them side by side. It's
Balboa they did that a lot.
100%. 100%. So there's a lot of inspiration coming from there, of course, which is fine. And I like how they're showing
they're not playing like some type of 80s arena rock while you're getting to hear the newscast and everything going on.
There you go, Gooch. That'll cheer you up a little bit. He's in love. Yeah. But I like this. And they're showing Josh Edgerton's character getting better, right? Little by little. And then, of course, Tom Hardy's character.
Well, he's buying into, he's watching and
he's
learning. For the first time. Because like Grillo, his coaching style is, they talk about is like with the
music.
The music.
Classical music, breathe, calm yourself.
Going to the
like
beats.
Center yourself.
Exactly.
And he gets the guy to tap. So the guy he's training, Edgerton's character taps him, gets him to tap out, and he's like, God damn, you know. So you're like, And then he's winning all these other fights, traveling, so he's making some money doing. That's such a Rocky thing right here at the bottom. Jesus.
Well, because his motivation, Brendan at the time, he's just trying not to get killed.
Yeah.
You know, from fighting, you know, those little small fights here and there and all that. He's got to.
Oh, this happens so much, like
with the injury.
training.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that it's not the fight itself; it's the training. That's what fighters hate the most: cutting weight and training, because that's where injuries happen. And cutting weight sucks, man. I've seen guys cut 55 pounds in one night. Like
wow.
It's just it's.
What, like physically with a knife? How do you do that?
Oh, you put on the suit and you're in the sauna and you're skipping rope, you're riding the bike, you're like
just beat the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, you're
that's not good for the heart, you know. It is so not good for the heart.
Well, you're dehydrated, that's for sure.
Yeah. Frank Grillo. Yeah, Frank Grillo's a badass. I agree with you, Zach. He's awesome in this.
Yeah.
And so their top guy is out. And I love how he's like, fuck it, what does he really have to lose by asking at this point?
Yeah.
He's just like, let me just ask. And he's like, nah, you can't do it. Like, this is, be serious. And he talks him into it. He's like, it's not going to look good if you lose right away. And he's like, what the fuck's the difference? Like, nobody should expect
because he's basically like, he's like, if I put you out there, I mean, the subtext of this is if I put you out there and you get tapped out, really quick, that looks bad on me as a trainer.
Right.
That doesn't reflect.
I like it. It's realistic in that way. Like, honestly, he doesn't want to look bad, and he doesn't want to also risk an old friend.
Well, and he's a true friend because he's telling him, look, for real, this is what I'm worried about with you. You're not that good.
Yeah.
You're not that guy. You're not.
Well, the other piece too is the wife, right? He mentioned it earlier. I don't need her and the puppies coming in here, and
she blamed him for that big time.
Yep.
This part is really good.
This is great acting here from both of them. Where she's like, I thought you were just going to do these little little fights, not going to some massive tournament. But he says it.
Now you're going to
take the house
real fighters, and she's like, what?
But he gives her like the reality of like, if I don't do this and try this to win, we're losing everything in a few weeks anyway. So what's the difference? But she
looks more Tennessee right here, baby. Oh yeah.
Dude. One thing I gotta say, I've seen this firsthand where a guy, he was about a 500 fighter and he just couldn't give it up, and he got knocked out, but he wanted to he got knocked out bad, like in like the first 30 seconds. I was judging that fight, and I remember in the room afterwards, like she was like in tears, like I can't do this anymore. And they've been together for a long time, and he's just like sense. I can't give it up. And she's on like it's a lot. People don't realize how much pressure's on them, how much like the outside pressure, like on the families, like it's grueling. It's really, really grueling.
And she's even selling him here. Like, I don't fuck the money. Like, I'd rather have you alive. If you're dead, what good is the money, or injured?
The way they portray this is perfect. I really, really
I was gonna say, and then it says she's like, you can get killed. And he's like, and he basically tells her like, it doesn't matter, in 3 weeks that everything's gone. So I have to do something because I don't like. It's a catch-22. It's like what his pride, right? He's got to take care of his family. He's a fighter.
Like, if we don't take a risk, we know what's going to happen. It's going to suck. And it's like taking the risk could also suck, but there's at least some light at the end of it, possibly.
And she tells him like, I can't do this. I can't watch it. Go do whatever you got to do. And it's like, fuck, man. I understand from both points of view. If he's hurt or injured, what the fuck good is the money? But he's like, I got to do this for my family. There's no other choice, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I think deep down she knows that he has to do it, but she just doesn't want him to, which makes sense. So here you get they go to Atlantic City for this big tournament, and again another part here where he's walking in and he sees he sees Tommy for the first time, the brother, and he's just like, oh god, again visual acting, right? His face is like, you got Hardy going like, fuck you, man. Like, I don't even, and then you got him like shocked. The Edgerton's like, oh shit. He wants to go over and talk to him, but he can't yet. Tommy disappears. Great acting there. See?
The one character like Kurt Angle plays is that Koba character. It's very similar to Fedor Emelianenko.
I was going to ask
he
you
was
who
like,
he-
he was like the Russian heavyweight MMA fighter back in like early, I would say 2005 and on. He was like the unstoppable force. Like he was dominating at that time. And then he lost to a Brazilian fighter. The name's not escaping me right now, but it was like a severe underdog story. It was like massive. So like there's a lot of similarities, and they take him to, from real life events and
real life stuff.
Movie. Yeah.
He didn't get to fight in UFC like a whole lot. He was what was he fighting in? Fedor
was a heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight.
He was in Pride. He was like a lot of the guys
okay.
Pride, and then he came over to, and then he went to Strikeforce, and then he went into the UFC.
Yeah.
So this is where you find out Tommy's background a little bit, because they find out some information about him. The media does, and how he was, the interpretation was he found these people, in a tank. He ripped the tank door off and saved like this whole crew of Marines, and you obviously know something's wrong with the way he like reacts to the news. He just kind of like I don't want to watch this shit. Fuck this. And his facial expressions. And he's like, "What happened?" And he's just like, "I don't want to talk about it."
And he doesn't want to be recognized.
Doesn't want to be recognized. Obviously,
not a good time right now for.
And again, we were talking about great acting scenes. Like him and his brother, meet up for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy's just like, "What do you want? Like, what do you?" And he's like, "Well, fuck, man. Like, let's go get a cup of coffee." He's like, "Nah, I don't need to do that shit. Let's do it right here." This again, another great scene, just like the Nick Nolte going to see the older son scene. The drama in this movie, it's not corny, it's not cheesy. The dialogue's fantastic. It feels real, right? This is and I don't know how you guys feel about this scene. Again, it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those scenes that peaks very high. This is it's a great interaction. It's the first time we've seen them interact together. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of resentment. And yeah, it's acted and written exceptionally well.
What are you gonna say?
Ends
Josh?
with. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, even like you get the context of how Tommy looks at this as, you chose Dad over the family that loved you, but you chose the abuse, you chose the asshole, you chose.
Yeah.
So you get the context of why he feels like, fuck all of y'all.
Yeah, and he's trying to like reconcile. No, I don't blame him either. But
I think to a certain degree, him not being willing to at least understand there's two things he should have understood. It's like he was 16 and he was in love, which he obviously ended up marrying.
He got married her,
taking.
But to be fair, hold on. To be fair,
I understand
how
to
many
a degree,
16-year-olds are like, I'm in love.
I think it's. I mean, we know that when we're not 16, we don't necessarily know that when we're younger. But
right.
It's just he's saying, hey, I know that might have seemed like that, but hey, we still did get married, so it does kind of justify it.
And then he even says,
at the same time, it's like I'm saying, as an adult, he should be able to at least reconcile that much of it. I think he's
just
still
too much
angry
anger
at him, but
yeah,
I think he's showing that Tommy has a bit of a character flaw here, him not being.
Yeah, and he even shows him the picture, and it's sad because he's like, "Hey, this is your nieces."
Like, I don't care.
He's like, "I don't know those people. Why are you showing me pictures?" I was like, "Oh my god, this is hard." And then Edgerton does tell him though, like, you did leave and never, like, you just took off. Like, and then he's like, you didn't contact me. I couldn't even see my own mother at the end.
What Brandon doesn't get is that he was escaping a whole lot of pain, and then he ends up in the Marines, and that becomes your family.
Yeah,
that is all he knows.
The Marines were the first time he wasn't abandoned. Like, we got to keep that
part
in
of a
mind.
group.
Yeah. It was that was his family.
Yeah. And then even here, like, you got Balls talking about because he says, Edgerton says, "I forgive you," and he gets like you can see he wants to kill him here. He's like, "What? You're talking to me about forgiveness? Like, it's God, it's horrible. I forgave Pop and all this shit." And he's like, everybody has a choice, and great dialogue, great acting. It's just so good.
I'm just wondering how much they improvised here, because like it seems so natural.
It was very
the camera
natural.
Zoomed in on him at whenever Tommy came back, and I thought they were actually like going to come to blows there, but it's more just you're
Just
taking
for the
this all wrong, and he's like, your mom's dead, and like, we got the same mom, Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah. And he says everybody has a choice. You had a choice, you stayed, and that's it. It's like, oh Jesus, dude.
Should have given the Rocky speech, man.
I like how these kids are like, hey, could we have in the auditorium? Could we show the Sparta fights? And the principal's like,
Principal being a dick right here.
I think it's because the implication, but he, they do go elsewhere, and he does join them. But I think it's just like, I can't do that. It's rules,
Yeah,
he got suspended for this reason, and now you want to like have a party in the gym.
By the way, how shitty is the superintendent? I meant to mention this earlier. They got that line where it's like, oh, it's the first time he stepped into a school in 4
since 9/11.
Yeah.
What?
I wonder if
he's kind of
yeah.
a typical superintendent. Not gonna lie. Most of them are kind of crap.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that the union allowed him to actually get kicked out for without any pay for the rest of the semester. Like, it's really hard, especially if he's tenured. Like, come on.
Do they have a teachers union in where are they?
That's what I was going to ask.
All over the U.S.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, I don't even
unless
know.
it's a private, but that's just a
public school.
It would definitely have a teachers union.
Then it has a no matter what, it has one.
So in Texas there's no teachers union.
Yeah, but they're in the they got it. In all likelihood, they'd be near Atlantic City. Their accents kind of give away they're from probably that New England area. So
that Northeast, yeah.
So the commentary, the color guys, like he's close, very close friends with Joe Rogan.
I thought so. Like, yep, I've seen him on the show.
I've seen him on like Louder with Crowder before.
Well, he was originally on Mad TV. That was his break, but he's been like, again, I can't forget, names escape me all the time now. But he's been very close friends with Joe Rogan for a long time. So,
yeah. And I like how they're like, I don't know who this guy is. Nope. Like, I like when Nick Nolte tries to like rub his shoulders to lose. He's like, get your fucking hands off me. And he's like, oh shit. It's like, oh God, he's so intimidating.
Brian
comes
Callen.
out with no.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an homage to Tyson, because Tyson walked out with no music and
no music,
just the intimidate. Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's there for business.
Well, I mean, I know that they got Brian, but it would have been funny if they had Joe. Whereas, Joe was doing those for free for years. But, they couldn't represent the UFC and stuff,
No, YouTube sensation.
Gooch?
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub. Like, what
okay. Look at that. Look at this guy. Like, dude, I would not want to fight this guy, man. He's insane.
The thing I hate about this is like he's so tight, and you don't want to be like that as a fighter. You want to be nice and loose. Your shoulders are not going to be. Yeah, you're not going to, like, you tense up, you're going to burn out in like the first 20 seconds.
This is why I'm glad you're here, because I wanted to ask you about the fighting techniques in the actual fight scenes, which I told you.
Well,
so
it's
a lot of bullshit because it's Hollywood.
Yeah. They're throwing a lot of things out there that, again, like omoplatas and arm bars,
right.
And it's just though at this time a lot of guys know how to get out of those holds. Right. Arm bars, yeah, that's one thing. You know, like an arm triangle, those are difficult. When you get it in tight, those are difficult to get out of. But like. Tight. Yeah.
Well, I don't know a ton about MMA, but I know what a WWE power bomb is, and Kurt Angle throws in this movie, and I busted out laughing. I was like, "What the heck? You just power
I forgot about that. I laughed at that too. Like, come on,
I have to watch this. I gotta watch.
No, that happened in MMA and pride fighting. That was.
No, I mean, I know it's happened. It's just the fact that he's doing it, and it's not something you see typically in a fight. I mean, I can't say I've seen more than like once or twice, but the fact it was just the fact that somebody I know as a wrestler that I grew up watching as a wrestler did that, it just made me laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
And Brandon loves the arm bars in this movie.
But everybody Tommy fights, he basically knocks out within like a few punches and within a minute. It's like ridiculous,
Yeah.
Well, this guy, I like this scene here. He's like, you can do this. He's like, I want to hear you say it, because he's got like this. Edgerton's character is just like, oh man, he could see the doubt in his face because he's really scared if this doesn't work out. His life's over pretty much. But he's like, I want to hear you say it. Like, you can do this. And he's like, okay. And of course, his confidence builds with each match. And announcers are like, yeah, this guy was never a good fighter. He's gonna get his ass kicked. And but he fights
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon. is not like his brother. He's not a bulldog. He's not overpowered.
He's not a shoot fighter, you know. He's
right.
He's kind of got the James Braddock thing where he can take a lot. He can absorb a lot of punishment,
Right.
and he just kind of keeps getting up.
This is the scene here where Gooch wishes she was folding his underwear.
Oh,
like she was doing the laundry.
Oh God.
Where's that hand? Oh no, your right hand's missing.
Oh shit! That reminds me. I got laundry. I got to put the dryer. That just reminded me. I did do a load.
I think he just did make some new laundry, didn't he?
Oh God! Oh God! I love it.
Was it the load that reminded? Never mind.
And
Yeah.
I love that. I like how Grillo's. He's just kind of keeping him loose. Like, hey, you got this. And I like it.
Everything's fine. Listen to Beethoven. Drink some soy milk. Okay.
Have a come out to the cruise. Have a few.
Beethoven.
Whatever. You Amadeus listening. Son of a.
Is this the only black guy in the whole movie?
That's Anthony Johnson. That's
why
Anthony
I was going to ask
Johnson.
you. This guy looks like an actual fighter.
Yeah, he just died a few years ago. Actually, he retired from MMA. He had a few title fights. He bounced. He had a lot of trouble like making weight because he was like middleweight, and then he went to light heavyweight, and he was bouncing around with like trying to find the right weight class. And then he retired, and he was going to be a bodybuilder, and he he was like bulking up, and then he died. I think it was like 3-4 years ago. So.
I like how the principal's watching.
He was good. He had heavy hands. He could.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he could
put some damage on you. This part. So this part, where he almost passes out basically, but he like gets out of this. This is one of the scenes where I forgot who I was watching today in the background was like, he would probably not get out of this the way he wouldn't be able to last this long. Wait,
no, not true.
Well, hold on. Because I want to go to Gooch on this. They almost played it as like a don't tap, but it looks like he's got him in a guillotine, right?
That's
so it's more so like
naked.
Don't. Yeah, but it's more like a don't
choke.
pass out,
I
right?
wish.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have had him like get his hand or something in there.
There was a fight just recently. Yeah, there was a fight recently, and when you're in that kind of, you want to turn your head, you want to turn into the elbow, so you're not getting completely choked out. You want to tuck your chin and turn your. So this like Volkanovski was in the same position in a fight like a year ago, 2 years ago. I want to say a year and a half ago, and he was like, everyone thought he was going to get choked out, and he survived it. It was very similar. So those kind of things do happen in MMA. A lot of guys refuse to tap too. Refuse to tap.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. So he gets out of it. The teacher's like, "Oh shit, man! Thank God." So yeah, he like you said, Gord. He could take a beating, and he's still persistent. Like he's not gonna give up easily. It's like fucking like you said, James Braddock, Rocky. Like those characters get the shit kicked out of them, but keep going, keep moving forward.
It's also like and again, I'll go to Gooch on this one, but it's almost like and they didn't talk about it, but that's like his strategy because he always goes for the submission. So he's trying to find that one moment of opening, and a lot of times these guys, what they'll do is they'll take the hits until that other fighter gets comfortable and they let their guard down. The moment they let their guard down, they have that opening. That guy comes in. That's why you see so many fights where it's like, it's going one way and then boom, submission. Yeah. So
it's exactly it. This is like almost like an homage to the Anderson fight with Chael Sonnen, where Chael Sonnen for 5 rounds was beating the piss out of Anderson Silva, and then in the last, I think 30 seconds or so, Silva had that moment, like Josh said, and choked him out and retained the title. So yeah, those things. It's especially jiu-jitsu guys that don't have good stand-up. And I always say this: like you start standing up, so you have to have a solid stand-up, and then have a a ground game. There's guys that are jiu-jitsu only, and will take a shit kicking, and then they just once they have that moment, like Josh said, you're in a trap.
Just clicks.
Yeah.
Turn your hips in. Yeah, there's a lot of. I think the fight scenes were filmed well, and like Vec said, the sound design was phenomenal.
Yeah, this moment here with,
his legs should be crossed, right? Shouldn't they be connected?
Yeah,
Joel Edgerton's, or trying
yeah.
to, anyways. I can't tell what
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah, it's Hollywood there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, you gotta have some. But yeah, he gets him to tap. Yeah, he gets him to tap, and I like how the wife's at home waiting. And he's even surprised that he got it done right. But yeah, I like how the wife's at home and she's got like the cell phone. She gets the. I like that whole thing. I think there's respect. Some sports. She's eating chips and waiting for Gooch's underwear to get out of the dryer, and then.
I gotta put stuff in the dryer. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
I got you, buddy. She gets the news that he won. She's happy, and then from that on, she actually starts watching his fights. That's the cool part. This is where they're watching Koba just annihilate people, and I love his look. They look to each other. It's like, oh shit, you know.
We got to fight communism.
You got to fight Russia. Oh, this Mad Dog Grimes guy. God, so annoying in this fucking movie. That's the whole.
Oh, he dyed his mohawk. That means he's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Was really popular.
That fight has Nate the Great Marquardt in there. He was a middleweight champion too. He's a UFC fighter, Strike Force. He was a good fighter.
Yep. Yeah, and Brendan gets another guy to tap out, and then it just keeps moving. Yeah, and then the father's trying to like say, "Hey, good job," and the fucking what does he say? I forgot. Brandon goes back to him and says something. He's like, "I'm the one doing this" or something. I forgot what he said.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm doing this. Yeah, you know, without you, basically. And then, Tommy just fucking annihilates a fucking Spanish guy. This is all racist.
They should have made his fights at least a little bit of a back and forth. Yeah, like I mean, you could show him take a few hits and then just get pissed and then annihilate somebody, but the way
there
this is set up,
fighter. I get what you're saying, but there is fighters that are like that just rise, like Conor McGregor,
just bulldogs.
He rose to the top really quick, knocking everyone out.
I'm not saying because there aren't fighters like that. I'm saying because in no way can you make me believe that then they go into this final fight and Joel Edgerton's character is taking these hits. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, you just set him up as this dude that's ripping doors off tanks, taking out like number one contenders for world championships with one punch.
Punch.
It is a little much. I agree with you. Like, it is.
And then we get to this scene.
To get me to believe that Ronda Rousey can beat Amanda Nunes. Come on.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And again, right back to the dramatic stuff. Another tough scene, right? Because
this is
Tommy's.
God.
Another tough one.
These two scenes back to back between them. Just brutal.
And he's trying to again reconnect to him and kind of like, hey, I know what it's like. I've been there. I was in war. I'm proud of you for what you did. And then Tommy opens up to him like, yeah, he was basically deserting his the Marines. He was trying to get out because of, and you find out later why, because of a friendly fire incident. He thought it was just the whole thing was bullshit. So still, he's like, what am I supposed to do? Let all those guys die? I'm crossing through, seeing this battle happen. I can't let my men die, my people die. So again, it's like he's trying to connect to his son, and the son's like, fuck you. He's like, I needed this dad, this guy when I was a kid. Now I don't need you anymore. So and even here, like, you see the pain in his eyes.
Scenes in the movie.
He's like, I'm really trying here, and he is. But again, it's hard to let go of that.
He's like, you're trying way too late. I mean, when he says one thing that me and my brother have in common is we don't need you, and I'm like, oh, that's just,
it's heartbreaking.
What a gut punch that is. That's the hardest punch he throws in the whole movie right there.
A dagger right to the heart.
Yeah, and he's like, you and Brendan don't understand that it's just too late for forgiveness. And he's saying like what you became is pathetic. I liked you better when you were drunk because you had more balls. But I was like, oh my god, he's going for it all here. You see it in his eyes. Like, I'm just gonna destroy you.
And he's still waved up.
He throws
his eyes are. His eyes are very much saying, "Yeah, did you feel that?"
Yeah. He wants him. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Sorry, Gooch.
Okay, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. This is a kind of similar to the scene where my dad and I were golfing, and he was like getting pissed off on the golf course because he wasn't doing well, and I tore into him about everything happening as a kid, and it just hit me hard. like the similarity, and I was just
bringing
like,
up those
holy shit.
memories. I get it.
Yeah, like this movie brings up a lot for me. There's a lot.
So is
in
that
this, so like, it's just,
is that? I know it's tough to relive that, but is it kind of therapeutic in a way? Like you just like, all right.
Yeah, because like I had some sessions, and like when I got off the, like I'm like 245, I'm like 6'2", and I'm ripped, and I'm like, my dad's picking me up, and I felt this big. I felt like getting off the plane, and my dad was picking me up. First time, like almost like probably well over for a decade, not seeing my parents. So like this scene, this like I'm like, holy shit, like that's exactly how it was with my dad, like just venting about.
I not to go like too personal, and you can say we'll talk about it later, whatever. Was your dad an alcoholic?
No. My dad was a very, very hard work, like extremely hard working guy. I respect him. Like he was just he just grew up in a very strict Irish, environment.
Just tough. Yeah, different time. I get it.
Yeah.
But the way Nick Nolte just walks away, and that's it. He's like, and then obviously there's a scene coming up here that's like, oh man.
Yeah.
Throwing the fucking coins at him.
He threw the coins at him.
Yeah, go ahead. That I don't know if this is consistent throughout the whole movie, but I started to pick up on it. I think after Hardy's second fight is the fighters, he doesn't look them in the eye before he fights them. But the characters he does look in the eye, he always is just tearing them down, just ripping into them. So it's every time he looks in the eye, it's somebody he loathes.
Because the fight at the end is one of because of who he's fighting, right? The last fight, it's like he looks him straight in the eye, like I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you for what you did to me, kind of thing. God, yeah. So this is where Nick Nolte's character relapses, and he's listening to this Moby Dick shit, and it's. Fucking acting.
This was the scene where I like seriously like my wife looked over. I'm over there. I am just leaking. I am just killed.
And you know what's funny?
Me too, man. Me too.
Same. The PTSD coming to surface.
That's
every
what it is.
bit of his
everything.
Good Lord. Good
and then
Lord.
the way Tom Hardy just basically is like, there was a theory I read about this whole scene here. Like the reason why he was empathetic is because he kind of understood. He didn't forgive his dad still, but he understood why he was the way he must have been through a lot of the shit he saw and did. And then also like, hey, my attitude's kind of similar to like him. And is this my future? Like, am I going to become this fucking
here's
guy?
the thing. Like this is the thing. Like, and this is why, again, I kind of relate. I'm sorry if I'm kind of thinking about it.
No,
like,
please go ahead.
Like when I had my kids, it was breaking that cycle.
Right.
And he's doing his best to find that family, and I did that as a young man, trying to find that family unit and like and break that cycle that in your own head. Not like I don't want to portray like my parents
I know
were
what you mean.
awful, but it was tough. It was very tough for me. But like it's like seeing this hit so much because like my dad, like we have that relationship. We always talk sports, but like. Having him, I apologize if my dad watches, but like him crying and on the phone and unable to cope with things and struggle with like not working and your dad is like taught you everything and you're now you're taking care of it. This is where like it hit me really hard.
Sure, I can understand, dude. No, what were you going to say, Josh? I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I was going to say just from the alcoholic perspective of, when you've got someone that was as severe of alcoholic as his dad was supposed to be, part of the lack of forgiveness that you see in Tom Hardy and even Brendan is like they were the punching bag. Like from their stance, you have this, and I'm coming from this not from a parent situation, but from my ex. But you get this point where you're like, I've given you every single chance. And then some, and still every day I was the punching bag. People were like, well, why don't you get out of that situation? But it's like, and by punching bag, I don't necessarily mean physical, but just
I know what you mean.
The
emotionally, yeah.
But also it's the duality of like this isn't who this person really is at their core. Like and it's like living with two people. And I think here for him, it's like he actually saw his dad trying, but he was holding on so much to the past. And now he's the reason his dad has gone back to exactly what he didn't want him to be. So that's why he's showing like empathy here is like,
that's a good point.
You back to this point.
Yeah.
Well, also what I love here is he's because he's listening. He's listening to
Moby
Moby Dick, but he's imparting his own feelings on it. Because what was Ahab doing? He was chasing the white whale, and he got all of his men killed. And and this is where there's subtext to this, where you don't necessarily know all of the details of what Nick Nolte was doing when they were kids, but he was clearly chasing some kind of glory with them. And then he's saying, just turn the ship around. You got them all killed. Turn it around. And he's basically saying that about himself. It is so powerful.
It's unbelievable.
I remember watching this, and I remember immediately looking up after this movie. I was like, who beat him for best supporting actor? And getting pissed off when I saw who won, because I was like, it was like Christopher Plummer for Beginners, and
fuck,
gay movie.
Yeah, that's what he won for.
The gay movie.
Yeah,
that was the gay.
I remember
old gay movie. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
Here's the thing about the scene.
I mean, there was one other nominee I thought was pretty good that year. I thought Jonah Hill was good in Moneyball, but I was just like,
not like that.
No, he was the best supporting actor that year by far out of those nominees. 100%. Not even close.
Here's the thing too about this. I really appreciate this acting, is that it really indicates like he did what he thought was best for his kids, teaching them like how hard life is and trying to prepare them for life, even though it came across wrong. And like again, like I reflect on my life and the mistakes I made in my like it's so powerful. Like again, trying to break that cycle of like, I'm not doing what my dad did. Like it was he did the wrong
tough.
thing.
And
but yet he was preparing me for life, because it's not easy.
Because it sucks. It's hard.
It sucks. Yeah,
it's very hard. Yeah, you got to be tough. And again, I always say this: is it's okay to have moments where you break down, like, oh, I don't know if I could do, but you just have to keep getting back up and move. And it's just like, that's why that line in Rocky Balboa is one of the best lines ever in cinema. You got to get hit and keep going. But yeah, like this here, he's even telling his son, he's like, I love you, Tommy. I always loved you. And it's like, oh fuck, man. It's like, Jesus. Again, like when
he brought up the fact that this was like he fell off the wagon in this scene, like he broke down and started drinking again.
Right.
And right after, and in a way, you almost get the sense he didn't just do it because he was sad. He did it because his son told him, "I liked you better that way."
When you were, yeah.
Well, and then he sees him that way, and he's like, "I don't like him better this way."
This is what sucks too. Like he has this moment with his father. He comes out to the ring, and then his family, like the infantry, is there singing for him, and like it's a flood of emotions. Like it's just so much for him.
He's getting support. And this right here from Nas is perfectly accurate. Like, you got to learn from your mistakes if you're willing to. Like you might not get everyone to forgive you for mistakes, but you can try to become, as long as you're aware. That's what I always say about people. Thanks, Nas, for that. And you're right. I love the Gooch, even with that beautiful hair and his wherever his hands are at this moment. People like that who learn from their mistakes and want to do the right thing going forward. Awareness is important. That's the problem with a lot of people today in society. Nobody has fucking awareness of why they're doing what they're doing is wrong. And it fucking drives me absolutely nuts. Like Mad Dog Grimes has no awareness, especially with that mohawk. Jesus. And he gets his ass kicked. I love this because he's like, Mad Dog Grimes says he's going to take out Tommy with one punch and all this stupid shit. And then he gets
that loud kid on the playground who has no self-awareness, and he gets into fights like, oh crap, I'm not that good.
Gets his fucking ass kicked again. And I kind of, the first time I saw this, I wondered, like what Josh was saying, are they actually going to show them going like a few punches back? No, they were like, fuck this guy. Like that was the running joke, is this guy is going to get his ass kicked by this guy each time he fights him. So hilarious. Look at that face. Mad Dog's like, oh man, my mohawk's going to turn a different color.
It's going to be blue now.
Vagina. Go ahead, buddy.
They should have flipped these fights though. So
you think so?
I think Brendan should have fought Mad Dog. I get the whole rematch aspect.
I see,
but I don't think anyone bought like, Tom Hardy's gonna lose to Mad Dog this time. Like, I think we all knew he was gonna mop the floor with him, which he did. But this would have been like a tiered test for Brendan.
I agree.
I'll be honest, I disagree, because I would have so either, I mean, granted, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's like if you have Tom Hardy's character fight Koba, he can't do to him what he's been doing to everybody else. That'd be
again,
terrible.
But I
that's
think
my
that would have
point for the
shown
movie is that he shouldn't be able to, like, if you're gonna make the believable final, Tommy should have had a challenge somewhere in here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind necessarily that idea. It's just it's the fighters, their face. I mean, to me, it's like the whole idea of him just knocking out every fighter that quick is probably not a good idea. He can do that like the first time, but the next time, let him struggle a little bit. Just let him progressively struggle with each fight.
This Gooch's girlfriend again. She's she yes, the wife comes.
Does Gooch like House? Is he a fan of House?
I think he's doing the laundry right now.
I meant
sorry, I needed a moment.
Girlfriend.
I needed a moment. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah. There you go again.
Oh,
It's okay,
yeah,
Gooch.
thank you.
I'd let her sit on my face too. Don't worry.
Oh, I would love that. I heard what Josh said. I heard what Josh said, and I agree with it. I agree with it to a point, but I think in this movie they're trying to show that Tom Hardy's character is supposed to overcome all the emotional impact from his past, while Brendan is physical. Like physically, he could never do it in the past, and he has to overcome that. I think that's what makes this movie really good. Is they both overcoming the things, those hurdles that they struggled with in their whole life.
So I get it. My point is the whole point of Brendan is he's supposed to be the underdog. And you've got him fighting Koba in the semifinal, who's undefeated. And by him beating him, Brendan is no longer the underdog. So if Brendan had fought Mad Dog and beat him, it still would have been like, oh, this is an upset. But the fact that he beats Koba, to me, you're now signaling, okay, there's a chance he's going to win.
Right.
And then I had just the issues with the technicalities of, Tommy's knocking everyone out like within seconds and suddenly can't do it with his brother.
Okay, well, here's the thing. This is actually why I think it's a good idea to do it this way, because I'm kind of glad that they stripped all that away for their fight as brothers. It's no longer about who's the underdog. It's like now they're on a level playing field, and I think that's perfect because it's really just about two brothers fighting, not necessarily about like, well, who's gonna win and stuff like that. I honestly was kind of forgetting about the whole who's going to win thing. I just was curious about the dramatic aspect of their fight when I started watching, because I honestly was at a place where I was like, I really don't know who's going to win this fight, but I don't really care.
I didn't
Are they going to resolve things? That's what I was just more into. I kind of feel like if you make him come into that fight as the underdog, I think that's the dead giveaway he's going to win.
Dude, this Koba fight was, whether or not
Trunks cracked me.
I just want to point out, this should have been stopped like 3 times. They should have been stopped.
I was going to say, it's absolute
But him wearing
bullshit.
the USSR trunks, I'm like, that cracked me.
This is absolute bullshit. I agree.
It's
like, I don't know much about UFC, but you're right. Like, the way Brendan was getting fucking tossed around.
Yeah, once a fighter goes like this and start in the ground pound, it's the ref is like, it's going to be stopped. Like,
it's over. Yeah,
and Jason, and they had Jason Herzog in there, and it's kind of funny because he's one of the better refs in the
Jason,
Mother Russia, Bryan Callen's you.
It would be funny if they had to do like several takes of this fight because he kept stopping it. They're like, "What are you stopping it for?" He's like, "Sorry, my instincts were just taking over. I would have
taken over." Yeah. I didn't know shit about.
He's not
movies.
fighting back. What do you want me to do?
But if you go by just like a Hollywood fight standard, it's exciting to watch. It's fucking great.
It is.
This is a good fight. It
was great. You see, Brendan,
I have my hand up.
I'm
sorry. Vex is alive, y'all.
I'm so sorry, Vex. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I've been here the whole time. I'm just like, you guys clearly have more to say than I do about this, so I'm just doing other things. That's all.
I saw your hand go up, so go ahead, please.
Okay. I mean, I can go make some. I think I'm out of turkey, though, to be fair. So we have to take care of this.
Go ahead, Beck.
The final fights, like as much as I did enjoy them, and like I audibly was like, oh shit, like when I was watching these, this kind of is where I noticed there is one slump a little bit in the storytelling, because we know that the family unit is more or less fractured. I think the mom died, right? She was sick.
Yeah.
The dad was a drunk, so that was established pretty easily, and there points where it kept reestablishing it for you that this is a big part of Nick Nolte's character. But I found for the brothers, the tension wasn't very well explained or explored. We got the one conversation on the beach. And in all honesty, that felt a little bit superficial in how it should have gone down.
Like just there to like just push the story forward and kind of make it
just
sense
because they need more tension because obviously they're going to fight each other at the very end, right? So just seeing the final ring fights, in the Xbox Red Ring of Death kind of deal.
Right.
It just
Here's the thing. I think I agree with you on this, Vex, but I would keep the beach conversation, but I would place it after these two fights where they're going to be fighting each other. I think that would justify their conversation better. Knowing we have to fight. So can we talk before this happens? I actually think that conversation.
So the placement of the conversation.
I agree with you, Lord. Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point. Yeah, he beats Copa. So this is one of the scenes, Gooch. The Copa. Copa. He beats Copa.
Copa.
Wow. Bald people. They're all bald. I don't know. All bald people look alike to me. But like that was one of the things the guy this morning. I wish I gotta find this video and send it to you. Saying the way he locked him in to win the fight. This is all bullshit. Like this would never happen. The way he's gripping his foot like this with his back to him.
That nut face is epic.
Well, that's an arm bar.
Look at that. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
No, he had him in some type of knee lock or something.
Oh yeah, he had him in the knee lock. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's where I think. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever it is, what it is. But he wins.
Knee bars are hard to get at that point. Well, yeah, that's Hollywood.
I just wanted to see Angle do the ankle lock on somebody. That'd been great.
Yeah.
just once.
Oh, there's Don Gay Lemon.
Oh yeah, this is the lowest part of the fucking.
The one it was. I forgot about. I was like, this piece of shit.
I'm gonna give it a higher score.
But this is where they go into Tommy's backstory. Fully into Tommy's backstory. How he went AWOL, and that his friend here. Oh God, what was his friend's name? Miguel. It was Miguel, right? I think that he died.
Jose.
He's Hispanic.
Jorge. He's Mexican. Taco.
Yeah, Jorge.
But yeah. So basically, it's like Tommy's Marine crew. They were out in the desert doing whatever, and there was friendly fire from the U.S. planes were shooting down on them. And they basically killed everybody except Tommy.
Yeah.
So that's why his promise was to this guy's wife that I'm going to take care of you if I win this thing. So again, his motivation it's valid, right? He's trying to help this guy's family out. Mm-hmm. And then the way they do this with, like they say, again, some people thought this came off like, it's a little cheesy, but I don't know. I think it's done well. It
happens a lot. It just gets.
Yeah, there you go, Gooch. There you go, Gooch.
She pulled her hair back for you.
Yeah,
I gotta mute and turn off my camera.
Do you see this look she's giving Gooch? She's like, Gooch, go get those underwear in the laundry, baby. But
Hold
again,
it the right way.
And I like how the wife looks at him and says, "What are you going to do?" And he's like, "I'm going to go fight him. This is why I'm here, right?" And I love the music. The music is good. The soundtrack's good at the end.
Yeah, when this starts kicking in, I don't know. They really knew how to tie this together.
It's fantastic. And you got Nick Nolte rushing to I don't know why he wasn't there, but he was rushing back.
Well, he was drunk, man. He was recovering.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I thought, I forgot that it was just the night, but that same day. Yeah. So anyway, like a Frank Grillo is like, "We're coming for your ass, buddy." But we get it.
And we're going to fight.
Yeah. So this is just the build up to the fight. And of course, like the military police are all waiting for Tommy to finish so they can take him to jail, which is fucking terrible. It's horrible.
So part of the reason why I think it is an issue with the movie that all of his fights ended quickly and there was no progressively, having tougher fights for Hardy. He's taken it's like Joe Edgerton's character is taking all this punishment and he's taking next to none. I mean, like Joe Edgerton's first fight outstrips all of this guy's fights combined easily. So it's like he's taking no punishment. This really should have been his easiest fight, arguably. So
yeah,
it does
that's
hurt
right.
the believability of the outcome.
That's what I was trying to say. Like it makes this so unbelievable.
I don't necessarily mind like who fights who. It's
Agreed.
more just the fact that all of his fights are so easy.
But would you lead it to? Yeah, no, that's a good point. You could
Everything
always
Josh
somebody
says I agree with.
Yeah, me too. Well, Josh is. Come on, look at him. Who wouldn't agree with him?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So this is Tommy. Tommy's just beating the shit out of him here.
Whoa, what's going on there? Okay. Look, dude, that look.
Look at that look.
That's what I'm saying.
In character the entire time.
I will break the Batman.
I agree with the Vex, and I especially agree with what Gord said. They should have moved the conversation on the beach right before this fight. There should have probably been an attempt at a conversation on Brendan's part before that. But I do feel like there should be something there, because Tommy is like ready to just kill him, and I feel like there should be something there for Tommy to have that much anger, because I feel like I get the whole "you abandoned us, we were on our own" type of thing, but I still feel like there's it's almost like there's something that's missing.
I like Grillo looks at him and he's like, if you don't win, you don't have a home. Fuck you, bro. Like this is
he's like, fuck Beethoven, you're thinking Metallica now, okay?
It's time
every time you show her, I'm grunting like Shannon Sharp. Like I'm just like
giving her the Tommy face.
You don't have Instagram on your phone, do you?
You're gonna need some fluids after this. Yeah, and again, what do they go 4 rounds in this fight? I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
No, 5. I think it's 5 rounds.
Is it 5 rounds?
Did they go all 5?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He breaks it in the 3rd, I think.
Yes. This is it. So he's got him in that whatever the fuck position this is, Gooch. You tell me, but he's got him in this. He's got his arm basically pinned back, and he keeps and Tommy elbows him in the face like 3 times, and he's like, "Tell him stop," and then boom, he's just like, "Fuck you!" You get hit in the face with an elbow, or
you keep on elbowing me, I'm gonna break it.
Yeah, he just dislocates his fucking shoulder, and you're like, "Oh, so that's how it's gonna go, huh?" I got his face. Yeah, the way he screams.
Yeah,
like, oh shit, you could hear it.
Yeah, and then I like the crowd.
Yeah, and then Tom Hardy gets right back up and like basically just throws him into the cage, and you're like, "Holy shit, this guy's crazy!" And yeah, it's great. It's great. But again, this is where he's like trying to tell Josh, and Grillo's like, "Fuck, what are you trying to stop the fight for?" It's like you almost got it won. Now you have to go in there and kick his ass. And this is where you find
Hardy's vulnerable as a fighter. It's like,
see it in his face.
His facial expressions. He's such a good actor with just pure expression. Yep. So he doesn't need to talk.
No. And he sees the Marines like there for him, and he knows what's at stake. And
like this is actually kind of like it's such an interesting fight emotionally, because on the one hand you're really excited for one fighter, the other one you're really upset for him because you understand what they're both going through, inside, and it's tough to watch.
Yeah,
there's no way they would let this fight go.
I was gonna say that's all bullshit.
He had him in a Kimura, which would and I've literally seen guys like refuse the tap, and you could hear the grinding. Like I've been in the ring, and you could hear the grinding, the muscle tearing. Like it's freaking painful. And the one guy I know for a fact wouldn't tap, and I'm like, you good, and he's like, that in that case where it's literally torn and broken, there's no way they would let him continue.
I was gonna say this bullshit, right? There's no way this would go on for this long. No way.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. This is where Tom Hardy knows. He's like starts kind of tearing up, and he's like, "Oh fuck, man, I'm done. There's nothing else I can do." And then I think this is where the music kicks. Whatever song that's a song choice they picked at the end was fantastic. Yeah. And then he gets him on the ground. And then this part here, this is where like he keeps telling him it's okay to basically let go. And when he tells him he loves him, that's all Tommy ever needed. Is like his brother there to protect him and tell him it's okay. And that I'll be here for you. And it's like, oh fuck, man. The build up of the music, and it's like you got to watch it. It's really fucking fantastic. Again, whatever
Hollywood has been in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got Nick Nolte's fucking crying, and like he's protecting his brother though. He's like pulling people away, like pushing. Like, no, this is my brother. I got it. Making up for all the shit in the past. And then I love the way it ends too. Like Nick Nolte watches them and he's like, oh, okay, they're in good hands with each other now. They don't need me. And I love the ending. They're just walking together. Tom Hardy's finally like, okay, embracing his brother, and then the music just cuts right into the camera, and it's like, what a fucking great. This is where I look over at Sassy, and she's like side-eyeing me, like, I'm not crying. It's like just fucking tears.
Yeah.
But it's so effective. It's so good. Extremely underrated movie, and it's worth a watch, worth a buy. I think it's rewatchable to me. I watch this movie like once a year, once or twice a year at least.
Sure.
Anyway, that's it. That's Warrior 2011. Fantastic movie. And I guess Vex, you have trivia for the movie.
Stand by, I'm chewing. Hold on.
Oh, she's eating a sandwich.
You get that sandwich.
She's eating what kind of sandwich are you eating?
Oh, Turd Ferguson. I just realized you have Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, the ending is great. It's good, Sassy. The ending is actually fantastic. But yeah, it's a
well, and it's also what also I like about the ending is that it continues the trend of not having to tell you everything that happens after the fact.
Yeah,
you can at least believe after that their relationship is probably repaired. They can probably start mending the fences with their dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone to jail because he deserted the military.
Yeah, I mean, he is. But I mean, even so, I mean,
we don't need Warrior 2 to explain it out. Like, just kind of
shows.
It's better left.
God, no.
Thank God.
Well, if you were to ask my mom, she would want Warrior 2 because she's going to be bothered by the fact that she doesn't know if Tommy's brother's wife got money or not. Like, my mom would be the type. It's like,
I would
did
assume.
they give money to that? Like, Mom, shut up, please.
I would. Honestly, I always thought about that. Like, what? I know hypothetically.
Big question. The big question is he still going to be a teacher? Or he's just like, nah, screw them kids. I'm rich now.
He's a millionaire now. Yeah.
Here's the reality of that fight. Like, all the fighters got paid, like probably like 15,000, 20,000 to show up to fight. Because you have to pay them for like training, and you got like
all the fees.
Those have the expenses and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they got paid, and second place, I bet you he got like probably a few $100,000 probably for being in the final. Which is like, they're not going to explain that, but like that's how it is in like MMA or boxing, like those kind of things. Because they did like
a couple of sponsorships.
Sponsorships coming out of your ass, like they're
sponsorship.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready for trivia now.
Tommy, I'd like to sponsor.
Your body
you
is ready.
All right. So this movie, I think one of you said it. Yeah, it didn't perform very well at the box office. It had a budget of $25 million, and worldwide, it took home just over $23.3 million.
Oh God.
Yeah. Came out on September 9th, 2011, and it debuted at number 3 at the domestic box office. It came out the same day as Contagion, which took the number 1 spot. And there were quite a few things that came out the following week. So second week, it dropped to number 7. All right. Yeah, it's disappointing, but these kind of films don't, like, it has a nicher audience, especially at the cinema. So 23, I mean, is still impressive. Yeah. Joel Edgerton tore his MCL during in the cage during production, halting fight scenes for 6 weeks. Tom Hardy also suffered a broken toe, multiple broken ribs, and a broken finger.
Oof.
The role of Patty was written for Nick Nolte by the 2 writers who are neighbors with the actor in Malibu. The studio was hesitant to cast Nolte, but the writers held firm, and his portrayal has won him global critical praise, and he had the Oscar nomination as well.
As it should.
Should have won.
Yep.
Anthony Tambakis, I guess, and Gavin O'Connor selected the song About Today by The National to close the movie before writing the final scene. The scene was written with the song playing on a continual loop at O'Connor's house while the writers worked.
So good.
Yep.
The location for the scenes in Iraq was actually an abandoned parking lot on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, dressed to look like the desert by production designer Dan Lee. Frank Grillo based his character on famed MMA trainer Greg Jackson. Griller and Joel Edgerton trained and lived with Jackson at his New Mexico gym during pre-production. All of Grillo's fight scene dialogue while cornering Edgerton was suggested by Jackson.
Wow.
An alternate opening shot at Moundsville State Prison in West Virginia was filmed and featured Tom Hardy's character cage fighting in jail.
Just want to say, it looks like we're getting a bigot raid, army raid.
Oh, nice.
Welcome, people.
We're
getting bigot graped. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining.
I mean, I've already got mine out, so I thought that was enough.
Well, we know Gooch has got his out for the whole fucking movie. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Raiders. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I just like that the AI gave me a watch, too.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't even know why.
Who's that damn sexy lady, Whitey?
I don't know, but I'm trying to get more donations. Shut up.
Oh, shit. Thank you. Oh, go ahead, Vex. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Hardy went through a demanding training routine for gaining muscle during pre-production, gaining 28 pounds of muscle, a physique which he also maintained to portray Bane in The Dark Knight Rises.
Makes sense. He was a monster in that movie. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. And last piece of trivia, there wasn't a whole lot for this one.
That's fine.
There were 2 remakes / adaptations of this film that both came out in 2015. One was Russian and one was Indian.
Fucking Indians.
Was that their titles or no?
Fucking Russians, fucking Indians. The best movie you haven't seen all year.
I love that movie.
Russian.
Classic fucking cinema. Oh, God, I love it so much. That was it, huh? No,
That was
Christopher
it, yeah.
Walken.
No casting trivia. Because from what I could read, it's like the writers were very like they knew who they wanted for the roles from the
I
get-go.
gotcha.
So
Ahab,
you godless son of a bitch.
Tommy.
There was one rule that they wanted, but they couldn't get him. They wanted Christopher Walken as the referee.
Wow, you broke the show.
You got him in a Kimura.
What we need is more arm.
Are you gonna tap?
I can't even do it. I can't even fucking do
That standing guillotine. Ow.
I think he could have pulled off. I think he could have pulled off Nick Nolte's.
Wowza! That had to hurt.
Brendan, I haven't seen my kids.
they were all lost at sea.
Turn the ship around, Ahab. Oh shit! All right, thank you, Vex, for the trivia as always. I guess go around the horn and give our final thoughts before we head out. Gooch, you beautiful greaser, give us your final thoughts and your what you. Well, you're just like me. So.
Yeah, this movie hits me in a lot of levels. Personally, and
I know what levels the wife hits you.
Oh yes.
Above and below the belt.
Love and below the belt.
Being in the MMA circuit for a long while, reffing and fighting and all that kind of stuff, knowing a lot of I really like this movie. I like how they portrayed a lot of it. A lot of it was hit home for me. It's this one definitely is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. This is such a fantastic film. There is a lot of and Josh is right. Like some of the things you have the Cooch pick up, which Copa owns, by the way.
Yes.
He's right. The Hollywood gets in there, puts their things, and I guess we didn't see the Tap Out crew when they were on there, like Punkcast and Skyscraper and all that. Because they had a heavy influences in this movie too, and I love that they dedicate this film to Mask Lewis, because they are a great group with the Tap Out shirts and everything at that time.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a phenomenal movie. It's just the acting, Nick Nolte. My God,
he's fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely veteran, but he killed it in this movie. So yeah. I agree. Josh, my favorite lightsaber friend.
Oh yeah! Look, yeah, White Bear delivering.
That looks similar to Vegas. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a little bit lightsabers.
A little bit.
No, I love this film because when we had I guess our previous show and we saw the list and they're like, oh, is there a movie you want to do? And I was like, wait, which warrior is this? Because there's multiple.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
So once I found out it was this one, I was like, oh yeah, no, I love this film. It's been a while since I've watched it. I will say from the writing, it's such an efficient script. They don't linger too long in any moment. That helps kind of avoid melodrama. There is a natural rhythm and cadence to the dialogue, and I think it's spot on. I'm sure there was a script, and I'm sure they filmed a few scenes, and I'm sure they let the actors just kind of riff a little bit or play with it, or but the acting, man, so good. Again, very nuanced, very understated. Just how you could easily overwrite this stuff, the actors could have overacted, and nobody did, and this just made for like one hell of a film. I thought the action was relatively good as well. I think there's a lot of stuff that the actors probably don't get credit for concerning Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton, is they probably did way more physical stuff than we realize. So when I'm watching Joel do those change ups to flip into like a submission, I'm like, that was probably him trying to do that. So kudos, but I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's just a hell of a film.
Nice.
More people need to watch it.
Yep, I agree. Vexington, since this was your first time ever watching this, what are your thoughts?
I thought this was great. It hooks you in from the beginning. It doesn't overextend itself in trying to explore the backstories or anything. It shows rather than saying, which I really, really appreciate, because it makes it's not a particularly unique or original idea, but it's well executed, and that's what counts a lot more. So I did find myself crying at several instances throughout this film. It was great. It was phenomenal. Really, the only thing I can really rank it down is that I wish the brothers thing was kind of set up a little bit better, but as we discussed, maybe just moving it would have done justice to that. So I give this film 9. I wish Tom Hardy would beat me around in a ring out of 10.
Whoa. Okay. She went
he looked
there. People.
Fucking good. Oh my god.
I want to change my score. I wish 9.5. Jennifer Morrison.
Underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking great. Gordo. Wumbo man. What about you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, my feelings are all pretty similar. I do think the movie has it has some issues with the structure of the fight tournament, and there is. I mean, it does have Don Lemon in it, so that hurts.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But gonna have to take off half a point for that. But but yeah, overall, this is a really, really well done film. Excellent dialogue. Some really fantastic performances, obviously anchored by what Nick Nolte does. I would rank this 8.5. I also wish Tom Hardy would beat me around the ring out of 10.
Ooh. I always knew about you, Gordon.
Different reasons, but
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just
White
want to
Bear,
be present for the acting.
of course. White Bear, you beautiful hillbilly. This is your pick, buddy. So give us your final thoughts.
All right. Well, okay. So yeah, this is pretty quick and easy to sum up.
I can't.
I want you. Hey, take me seriously. What the fuck here?
I can't. You're showing this thing.
Hey, you can't. This chick may not be able to break dance, but you can't submit this woman.
That's right.
Tap out.
That's right.
Oh God, sorry,
Also,
Whitey. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm so proud of this community.
Okay, so like, there's a reason I had to nominate this movie. When I first saw it, it was just some movie. I mean, my dad had got from Netflix back when they were sending out DVDs, and we were like burning them, and like, oh yeah, we thought we were cool and all that. So, and this movie just came out of nowhere, totally beat my ass, and I just had got out of the military, and I was kind of down at the time, and I saw this, and I was just like, every fucking bit of this reminded me of so many family situations and so many really fucking hard times. And like, yeah, you're looking over at your old man, and you're just like, holy shit, dude. I'm not crying, you're crying.
I'm not crying, you're crying, Dad.
It was damn good for the budget and probably for just how quickly it was put together. I feel like there could have been more to it in a way, but I don't know. But I'm gonna have to give it kind of like the same rating as last week's movies. I'm probably gonna give it like a 7.5. It was. I feel like there could have been. More. I would have appreciated a little bit more fight choreography, but other than that, it's a great movie. It is a great movie to me.
I agree. I forgot. I didn't even know how I missed this, but we got a $2 super chat. Buy it, Wolf 19. Bigot Army raid clapping on your cheeks. There you go. Who doesn't like a little clapping on the cheeks once in a while?
That's why we're proud of that community.
Yeah. You know what? For that one, I will give you this.
I live, I die, I live again.
Hey, quick and easy, just like me. So I will go ahead and give this movie a 9 out of 10. I was trying to think of something clever to say, but I'm autistic and tired, so I can't think of anything. Yeah, a 9 out of 10 for me. I movies like this, Rex is right. There's really nothing unique or original. That's okay if you do it well, though. This is well written. Fucking acting is phenomenal. I love the grittiness of it, the realism, the dialogue rings true. It's just fucking great. I'm glad I've been trying to get Sassy to watch this for a long time, so this was a good excuse for her to watch it finally. She doesn't like watching sad stuff.
I don't think this was sad, to be honest.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't either.
Yeah, it was very uplifting.
I think the way I described it in the past, maybe I think for her it was like it's a heavy. It's like there's heavy themes in it, but she loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, there are sad moments, but
right.
But generally followed by strong catharsis.
Yeah. So great movie. Absolutely worth watching. Please go watch it. And that's it. That's MMM. Episode 86. We did a great job with the panel. Guys were fucking awesome.
Like Mischief, Mayhem, Arts.
Mischief. So let's go around the horn real quick. Get everybody out of here. Lydia, how you doing? Goochmeister. Let's start with you because you have like 80,000 things going on.
Well, not 80,000. With
80.
me, I tomorrow night you can catch me. I'll be on the Badger cast tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we do Invincible. Vex will be there. We do episode 8, the finale. Wednesday nights I'm going to change up. I'm going to probably bring the late night to Wednesday night, but it's not going to be a late night. It's going to be like at 8 o'clock Eastern. I got a special guest lined up for Wednesday. You do not want to miss that show. I was supposed to be last night, but we had to reschedule because things just kind of happened. This one you do not want to miss on Wednesday night. This is going to be probably, it might break the internet. Just throwing it out there.
Nice.
And then Thursday night, I will be doing Terminator 0 episode 2. And then Sunday night, late night with Gooch. It's kind of awesome. Become this thing. So it's been a lot of fun. And I'm very close to 15K. So
let's go.
Yeah, and I'm selling t-shirts. The other thing too, people are loving the t-shirts. So yeah, go to the
doesn't
channel.
Want a good t-shirt? I'm still waiting for a fucking candle, but nobody.
I know.
Seriously, I'm just, yeah, Gooch, thanks, buddy. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I will have you on in 2 more weeks. When we do the Long Halloween, which is Josh's favorite Batman movie.
You can find. There's other ways to find a burning Gooch.
That is true. I'm going to talk to him about that at the backstage.
I don't know about the animation for that movie, but
I'm not a fan of the animation. No.
Yeah.
Mr. Josh, I love having you on as always. You're such a beautiful man.
Jace. Okay.
Shout out your stuff. Shout it out.
I will say last night I was on Max's Man Cave, so go check out MVP's channel. We kind of went off the rails, and instead of discussing pop culture, we discussed politics. So a little bit different there. But it ended up being a good show. We ran for like 3 hours, had really good engagement the entire time. Tomorrow night we've got Culture Popped over on my channel, Pop by Culture. Nice. And we're going to be talking about just some various announcements or rumors that are out there for various shows and films. Yeah, and then at the end of the month, so we've got the new book club that we're starting. That we're going to do a monthly book club where we'll get a whole group together to discuss a book. But we're kicking things off with Superman for All Seasons. So Cannoli, if you want to come join,
well, you know why? That's my next Superman book I'm going to buy. It's on my cart. I'm going down this list, and that is like the fourth one down because I remember you recommended it, so I am going to buy that. But yeah, I'm getting like a new book every freaking day, pretty much. So
yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. Sassy knows. Our bank account knows too.
I was gonna say every time I see you post, I'm like,
So what I do is I get a bunch at once, and then I stop for a while because I read them, and then I'm like, okay, I got the itch, and I just like boom. And then Sassy's making a lot of YouTube money, so I'm like, all right, thanks, honey. There's some comic books in there for me. But yeah, I would love to be on that show. It'd be awesome. So,
sorry.
Wait, are you okay?
Falcons just beat the Eagles. So
Cowboys.
I thought he was just having Tourette's over there. You know,
sorry.
He is. We'll talk backstage, Josh. Would love to be on your show, of course. White Bear, goddamn. You got any video game streams coming up on Twitter? What do you got? Meme shit? Come on, talk to me.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll probably be streaming something, but I'll be working on some new videos. So nice. Be on the lookout on the Twitters, and I'll link you to whatever channel that falls under. And so watch out for that Wumbo juice, baby.
Nice, baby. Wumbo. That Wumbo.
That Wumbo.
Speaking of Wumbo, Gore King, you just had a Crow video come out not long ago. Please go check that out. And then you also your poorly explained videos were fucking hilarious. So if you haven't checked them, please go subscribe to his channel, on his gaming channel. He's got 50 channels. Go ahead and shout out all your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, the funny thing is like there are some people who are like, I can tell when they're coming into the videos that don't know me, they're still trying to figure out what it is because they're like, is this guy being for real? Like, it's like, no, it's poorly explained. That's why it's there. But no, yeah, that I did one for the Crow that just released Friday. I'm more other than my gaming streams, which I'll be doing, tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm otherwise pretty free and clear, and we'll be working on my next script, which I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to be doing, but I have about 2 or 3 that I'm kind of picking between.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. And then, of course, Vax, my favorite. Yeah, she had a video come out yesterday, Speak No Evil. The movie looks like it's just absolute shit. Love the original Danish movie, but a great video, please. And she's editing now. So please, if you want a good editor.
Here's what you can get when you hire me as an editor. Just saying, people. There's incentive for you. Okay. I did just edit a video today. It will probably be out tomorrow.
Nice.
Keep an eye out for that. For someone else, though. So I don't know how to plug that at all. But anyway, I'm tired.
Just shout it out tomorrow when it goes out. That's all.
There you go. Just reach out to me. There's a post on my YouTube community page. You can reach me via email. On Twitter, my DMs are open, and on Discord, you can reach out to me.
Yep.
If you need an editor or you know someone who needs an editor.
You just have to watch her videos. You see that's the work.
I did learn how to green screen in my last.
Dude, we were cracking up at the beginning of the video with the fucking TV. Oh my god, everywhere. Yes,
Vex OnlyFans? No. Yes.
Oh well.
You know what?
That's the bonus. You get feet pics if you hire her as well.
Yeah. If you really want feet pics, I know for a fact that I have nice feet. So there you go.
She does. Oh, at least that's what I hear. But anyway,
free lonky donkey.
So yes, as far as the MMM show, we will be back next week. We're doing Shaun of the Dead, which is a fucking hilarious movie. Great movie. It's getting close to the spooky season, so we're kind of somewhat maneuvering to some of those movies.
No, we're doing it because it turns 20.
Oh, the 20th anniversary too. Yeah, that's true. That's more important.
Freaking awesome.
So we got, I think our panel next week I have down as Goodwin and Jacob Ironside. I don't know who else might come in at a later time, but that's it. I'm looking forward to that. It's a funny movie. And then, of course, in 2 weeks, Gooch will be back with a great cat panel to do the long Halloween. So we'll shout all that shit out soon. I want to thank everybody who came in and the chat. Great as always. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks to the panel. You guys are freaking great. Love doing this shit with you. Go subscribe to these people, please, especially Josh Goosh, White Bear, Vex, and Gord. My channel just, but they actually put good content out. I just do this stupid thing. I just do this stupid thing once a week. No, it's great. It's great. And then also, I don't. Mrs. Sassy's like stuck between like 660 subs. To get her to 700 would be great. She deserves it because her Sunday shows are fucking great. So go subscribe to her too. But yeah, thank you again. You guys are awesome.
We're running out of members for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. ABF never misses. He just keeps giving out. He's great. No,
Elon Musk, check your Gmail. You might have a
check your Gooch.
Check your Gooch. Speaking of Gooches. All right, we're gonna go now. It's late for these people. Let's go. Bye. Love you all. We will see you next week at the same time. Bye.